Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Outs here. It's Sunday morning. We're doing a Sunday special report on the NBA and the money. Yeah, the money's big, and that means the salaries are going up. Everybody's being so crazy about like these new extensions that young players are getting. Scotty's rookie class in particular, Franz Wagner being the latest to get an extension on the Orlando Magic. And people are saying, wow, this money is crazy for these youngsters. This has been said all along throughout the decades when the money goes up. You know, these guys in the 80s that busted their ass, played hurt, all kinds of crazy stuff. They didn't get paid a whole lot. I mean, it was good money. Don't get me wrong, but it's nothing like what's happening now. That's for sure. You know, I've heard a clip recently where Shaq was talking about when he left Orlando to go to the Lakers and how Orlando did not want to pay him even $100 million on a long-term contract at that time. That seems so crazy at this time to think that a player like Shaq couldn't get a $100 million contract from the Orlando Magic to keep him. And that's part of the reason why he went to the Lakers. Well, you got people like Kevin Garnett coming in a couple years later with a huge contract, and the contracts just keep stacking and getting bigger and bigger. Jaylen Brown into Jason Tatum now being the top dog with the highest paid contract in the league at this point. So, yeah, the money's good. And there were, in some ways, some of the guys in the league knew that the NBA was renegotiating their TV deals with the media companies recently. So some of them kind of held off on doing certain things with the contract or the timing of how things were. It's actually perfect for Scotty and the extension he's going to sign tomorrow. It was announced yesterday. There'll be a press conference at OVO Center tomorrow with Emmanuel Quickley and Scotty Barnes announcing their extensions being signed first thing in the morning tomorrow. The Raptors have been getting all their business done this weekend, officially announcing the re-signing of free agent Garrett Temple, and also officially announcing Ulrich Komsche as one of our draft picks. And he had showed up, and he got his number 22, and he is in Toronto. He is not with Cameroon. Somebody in the comments was asking about that because Cameroon's done very well at the FIBA qualifiers. But no, Komsche did not play for them. He is here in Toronto. He's going to be at Summer League for the Raptors. And I've seen him in a TikTok with the other rookies, Jacoby and Jonathan and Jamal. And also, he was there to sign his contract yesterday. He's been tweeting yesterday, it's great to be a Raptor. Today is a great day to be a Raptor. Ulrich, welcome to the Toronto Raptors. That's right. We're really, really happy about this. All kinds of stuff happening lately. But yeah, my Sunday report is on the money, the big time money. It all trickles down in different ways. You know that the NBA is just signed new TV deals that amount to the total of $76 billion. They're going to be paid singularly by NBC $2.5 billion a year to have the rights to broadcast NBA games on Peacock streaming there. Yeah, big time. So $76 billion is the amount, the total for the whole period of the contracts, of the TV contracts that were just negotiated and finalized. Yeah, that's why the money's going up. That's why, in some ways, these guys who came in and got these contracts are the first on this new platform of the elevation of the TV money for the NBA. That in some ways, these guys are getting signed with this in mind. And that may be why these amounts are so high and everybody's freaking out and saying, why is it like this? Well, this is just society, baby. Get used to it. The rich get richer. And yeah, the working class suffer because we're being exploited for our labor and not being rewarded in the correct way for what we do, what our value is. And well, these guys just get paid more and more. And, you know, there's criticism out right now. Andre Iguodala coming out saying that in some ways the players today care more about they're making more money even outside on endorsement deals than actually playing and showing up for games and doing well. That's a problem. There is a problem in some ways. This is part of the reason why they made the Kawhi rules last year. They said, you want to be involved in postseason awards? Well, you better fucking play this amount of games. Because seriously, there was on the down low across the league a bit of players not wanting to show up and play and making up little tiddly, like stupid ass injuries for an excuse. See, that's what I'm saying. In some ways, this league is tougher than ever as a GM to navigate, to be able to put a team together that's competitive because you want to have the right chemistry and character on your team. And if you have guys that loaf that are just there to get the paycheck and also to try and find endorsements on the outside, and they're not really working like a Pascal Siakam, well, that's a problem. That's a problem. So, this league is hard to manage. But yeah, we're talking about the money, baby. Money. The other thing that has come about because of the big money deals is, well, Adam Silver keeps getting hounded about expansion for the NBA. And, well, he said, we won't talk about this until the TV deals are done. Well, the TV deals are done, Adam Silver. Does that mean Seattle's getting their team back very soon? Does that mean that, well, we got to wait for LeBron to retire and he will run the Las Vegas NBA team? Yeah. And then people are already calling it out. Isaiah Thomas, not our Isaiah from Isaiah Thomas, Raptors president original. No, Isaiah Thomas, the guard who's bounced in and out of the league for the last decade or so. He's saying that do this, add Seattle and Las Vegas, and move Memphis and New Orleans to the Eastern Conference. I think that makes sense. They're geographically in the eastern part of the United States. Why the fuck are they in the Western Conference? So that's what I would say. Yeah, go ahead and right that wrong, NBA. And now that you've made your big, huge, lucrative TV deal, you can go ahead and start expansion process. That's right. And they will. They will. Trust me. They will. Those two markets deserve to get an NBA team, to be honest. Yeah, Vegas is weird because in some ways, once again, I will talk about the history of Vegas and the NBA from the eyes of David Stern, and that is no, and no. He knew Michael very closely. He knew Charles very closely. Those are his guys. He loved Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, David Stern. And he knew if he put an NBA team in Vegas, they would be getting preyed on for their addictions. Yeah. It was a no-go because he knew these NBA players would be going to Vegas and they'd be like, gambling all their money away because they can't help it. Gambling degenerates, Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley. They could not help it. So David was a nice friend. He said, Michael, Charles, I want to be nice to you, and I'm not going to allow a team in Vegas the whole time I'm alive. Well, he's dead. He's gone. And I respectfully love David Stern compared to Adam Silver because he had morals about this, about the intertwining of gambling and basketball is really bad. The final nail in the coffin is let's just go ahead and put an NBA franchise in Las Vegas, and that is going to happen. It's inevitable. It's a really growing market. It's a growing population. The Golden Knights have done very well. The Aces have done fantastic. In some ways, they've been the only show in town. And part of the building up of the WNBA is the fact that Las Vegas Aces are a team onto themselves into that city. It's an interesting situation, expansion, and how expansion is more possible with billions of new TV deal money. Yeah, there you go. All right, let me check in the chat. Those are kind of the subjects we're talking about today. The ever-ballooning player salaries, the new TV deal and how huge it is, and the expansion and all the ripples and effects of all this kind of stuff. That's kind of the topic today. If you guys have any comments or opinions on it, please let it be known in the comment section. Otherwise, we'll go about our daily, regular business. Let's go. Trevor J's in first. He's saying, good morning, Raptors family. Always speak positive words into your life every single morning. Think big, think healing. Think success, think peace, think happiness, think growth mindset. Always start the day with positive energy. You deserve it. Yeah, it's been crazy. The last 2 days, I come out of my studio and I see a little baby bunny sitting right outside. This bunny likes me too. It's outside right now, sitting in the grass, chewing on some grass. But yeah, for the last 24 hours, there's this tiny bunny. It's probably about this big. It's very, very small. And it's not scared of me. I'll stand next to it like 2 feet away from it, and we just look at each other. I guess it feels my aura and my vibes, and it's just like, this dude's not going to hurt me. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, the bunny's my new friend. It did start chewing on my mom's rose bush, and then I was like, okay, yeah, you got to go. I shoot it away. I was like, in some ways, I don't want the bunny to be totally comfortable with people because that's not good for its safety. So in some ways, there's a line drawn when I say, bunny, all right, you're chewing on our plants. Now you got to go. Shoo. So it does have to have a natural scaredness of people, even if it's not scared of me for some reason. But yeah, it's really cool. And that bunny gives me a positive energy just from being around it. I'm like, oh, you're so cute. And I feel such positive vibes from you. So bunny is my dude right now. Yeah. James is here. James, good to see Raptor Freak James. We should get Paul Reed. I see a lot of Paul Millsap watching his highlights. You see Paul Millsap and Paul Reed. Yeah, I could see that comparison. And, it's fair because I think that at some point Paul Millsap was around the Sixers and maybe worked with Paul Reed a little bit. They're similar size player, even kind of similar looking in the face. But, I think that Paul Reed actually, Paul Millsap really hung on to his career too long and he really looked bad near the end. And I forget what really good Paul Millsap looks like. So in some ways, I like what Paul Reed does. Now, Paul Reed is weird because in some ways, he's not totally cleaned up his game. He's been a development project with the Sixers for a long time, but there's certain things that he still does that are kind of knuckleheaded. And that may be part of the reason why they didn't value keeping him around anymore. I don't mind Paul Reed coming to our team. He would help us with rebounding and help us with certain big man stuff that I would love to have. He's very learned. He's educated in the NBA. He has good time served where he actually understands how to play at the NBA level. So I'm not against putting Paul Reed in a Raptors jersey. I just don't know, James, if there's many more huge moves we're going to do. Now, there's an Instagram or something that Monique shared this morning. Bruce Brown in Toronto on the 401, in the Gardner, I guess, riding into downtown. You can see the CN Tower. So Bruce Brown is around Toronto today. He is around Toronto today. That's interesting right there. Trevor's saying Brazil moving on. They defeated the Philippines. All right. Trevor J's talking about the FIBA Olympic qualifiers. Let's go ahead and check in on how the semifinals went yesterday for the qualifiers so we can understand who we may be seeing in our group in France. So let's go look at what happened. Here we go. This is what we got. All right. First of all, in the Greek category, Giannis destroyed Luka Doncic's team yesterday and eliminated Slovenia from the Olympics. Giannis going to the finals. He will be playing against Croatia in this matchup, and the winner will go to the Olympics. So Greece versus Croatia in the Greek group for that Olympic ticket. So I think that Anaconto is on a mission, and in some ways he's going to make his team go to the Olympics because he wants to go to that dance and be a part of the things that's going on with USA and Canada and Spain and France and Germany and Australia. That's right. Greece wants to come to the party. So I could see them beating Croatia and putting them out, and it'll be Greece coming from the Greece qualifier. In the Latvian qualifier, Philippines did lose to Brazil, as was just told, and Cameroon lost to Latvia. So the final will be Brazil versus Latvia. And this is kind of like the old standards. Those two teams have been good basketball teams internationally for a while. Philippines coming up, and Cameroon really coming up now. Now, that's the thing. Cameroon had Pascal Siakam. They may be doing stuff like Giannis and Greece right now. I'm serious. It's too bad Siakam could not show up and be a part of this. In some ways, don't fake like you're going to, Siakam, and then don't do it at the end. I mean, you got your contract done pretty quick, right? Everything's been figured out. I guess you have to officially assign it this week, and then the games are already over because they've lost and they're out. But that's too bad. In some ways, Siakam, in the future, I'd love for you to be that same kind of person like Giannis is for Greece, for Cameroon. But yeah, Latvia versus Brazil. I'm going to go with Latvia, mainly because in some ways, Davis Bertans just got waived while he was in the games for Latvia over there. He got waived by the Charlotte Hornets, and I don't think he has an NBA team. He might be mad right now. So it maybe the revenge of Bertans will get them past Brazil in the qualifier there. In Puerto Rico, we had Puerto Rico devastating Mexico by 20 and Lithuania devastating Italy. So it'll be Lithuania versus Puerto Rico for that berth. And I'm going to say right now, Lithuania's going to win. Puerto Rico's not a bad team, but Lithuania is just an old standard. And I could just see Lithuania getting that berth. I called this like the last time I did this. So I'm still sticking by Lithuania taking the Puerto Rico berth. In Spain, the Bahamas destroyed Lebanon, which is no surprise. And then Spain beat Finland. So it'll be Bahamas versus Spain for that berth. And that's a tough call for me to make because honestly, Bahamas have a lot of power with DeAndre Ayton, Buddy Hield, and Eric Gordon. But we'll have to see. It is Spain. It is the Hernan Gomez brothers. It is the history of Spain and the powerhouse that Spain is that may get them through the qualifier in Spain. So who knows? Who knows? Now, the winner of that group will be the one who joins our group. So we're either seeing Spain or Bahamas. And then the winner of the Greece group is the other one. So we're probably going to have Giannis in our group, guys. That's what it's looking like right now. from the FIBA qualifiers. We have the finals of the qualifiers coming up, I believe, either today or tomorrow. I'm not totally sure. Dana's here. Canadian Dana. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Canadian Dana. Hope you're having a fantastic morning. A little wake and bake on a Sunday morning, possibly. And Mo is saying that Ulrich Kalmsche has officially signed. This is awesome. Like I said, this guy's got a tweet out saying it's a great day to be a Raptor. This young man, this 18-year-old, has a lot of potential. And I'm telling you, this guy may be more of a real deal than Bruno, for sure. He may be more on the scale with Giannis than Bruno. And I'm telling you, Ulrich has some real good potential and skills coming up. I'm telling you. Monique saying DeMar DeRozan in Kings jersey looks weird, but congratulations. Yeah, this all went down yesterday. Finally, the deal with DeMar went down, and he's a King now, the Sacramento King. 3-team trade where Harrison Barnes ends up being a San Antonio Spur. Chris Duarte becomes a Chicago Bull. And there's some picks shifting around also. DeMar showing up in Sacramento immediately and him coming out to the crowd to not like us. So, yeah, this is just going to become a thing at this point, I guess, with him. He's doubling down on it at this point. And you know what? Listen, I'm going to say this. I was hoping you'd get to go play for the Lakers and the Clippers earlier this week. Either one of those teams. I actually really wanted you to go to the Lakers, DeMar, because I knew it was a childhood dream of yours. But now you're going to the Kings. You know what? Good. In some ways, that's what you deserve. You really, if you're going to shit on all over Drake and Canada and the way you did, well, I'm glad you didn't get to the Lakers because in some ways, you not getting the Lakers, well, that's just part of more of the story. And I can't believe I'm saying this right now because a week ago, I would have been like, man, I feel bad for DeMar, but I don't at this point. In some ways, I'm really upset with him because in some ways, he just shat on his legacy up in Toronto. And in some ways, you know what? You're a King now. Good luck. Yeah, good luck with that, DeMar. In some ways, you get what you get. And it's too bad. It's too bad because you are a really great person in a lot of ways. You've been a very, very important Raptor for a long, long time. But now you just want to take a big, stinking, smelly turd and shit all over it. You go ahead, DeMar. I'm glad that you're in California, but Sacramento is nowhere near LA. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. Let's see. Trevor, Mo's saying happy birthday, Masai Ujiri. That is true. It is Masai's birthday today, guys. It is a very, very special birthday for the Raptors here. He is 54 today. Masai Ujiri turning 54. The Patrick Patterson number. That's right. He's a Pat. Of course, it is a very special day. We need to honor our vice president of in our front office, Masai Ujiri, such an important person to the Raptors franchise for sure. So happy birthday, Masai Ujiri. That's right. Trevor J saying X905er Mohamedou was the star for the Charlotte Hornets last night. 21 points, 5 rebounds, knocked down 2 threes. Well, he's got some fight to him. It was his birthday also this weekend. So, in some ways, Mohamedou's got to hold on to his career. Well, he's got to kick some ass. In some ways, I was really upset with him last season because I felt like he did not work on his game properly and improve enough in what he should have done in this past year. You can look at Grady and look at how much he improved. Mohamedou did not improve. He got his chance at the end of the season to play for the Raptors a lot, and he continued to fuck up all over the place and just didn't look clean. In some ways, you've got a lot of defensive liabilities, Mohamedou, but you have a lot of good talents, but you were really looking unprofessional. In some ways, the stuff that you did on 905 came right on up to the Raptors. And that sucks for you because you showed your worst side in some ways in those games when we were playing you in the NBA when Scotty and Jakob got hurt. And, well, that's that. In some ways, look, he's got to do a few things to get better. He's got to take things more seriously. I'll say that. He's got to add more weight. And nobody needs to wait around for a 25-year-old that's still trying to do that. Now, Chris Boucher was younger when he started adding weight. Mohamedou Gay, he's a little bit too old to be adding this much weight and to try and become a prospect or a project that's going to get better around 28 or 29. Nah, what is this? There's no schedule with him at this point. The clock is ticking, bro. You're not a young guy around the NBA anymore, and you need to get your act together and start improving and tightening up your game, Mohamedou. That's the advice I can give you from what I saw of you on the Raptors last season. Because, wow, what a year you had. You came into Summer League. You look absolutely amazing. We all said, this is the guy we want to keep, Masai and Bobby, and they listened. And they kept Mohamedou Gay. and we had a whole year of him on half of it on two-way, and he just didn't take the opportunity and run with it in the correct way to be successful. And now he's on the Charlotte Hornets summer league team. That's just how it goes right there. This is just how it goes in some ways. Yeah. Yeah. Monique saying super fan Nav's send-off event looked great. Yeah. It's Nav Bhatia doing a send-off for Team Canada for the Olympics at University of Toronto yesterday. And some of the players came down from both the men's and women's teams. Savannah Hamilton was there reporting on it. Yeah, it's just a big fun fest. People coming out talking, very well attended, very successful. Yeah, and I like that. RJ Barrett was there for making an appearance and saying hi to everybody. He had a funny little clip in the back when he was coming in, talking to people. Yeah. Let's see. Trevor's saying when DeMar entered the arena last night, the crowd standing applause for him. Listen, I think he deserves all kinds of respect, accolades, all-star, Hall of Fame. I think DeMar DeRozan is a Hall of Fame player. It's just right now he's on our bad side because he's, shots fired. And in some ways, he didn't need to do this. You really didn't need to do this, DeMar. I feel like, all right, and Chev had a good point, seriously, or somebody online had a good point. DeMar DeRozan is not, in some ways, he's a really good basketball player. He is not exactly the smartest guy in some ways, as far as, he's made personal choices in his life with his children and things and how he's done his relationships. Well, that can kind of show you, him being a backstabber right there. That can kind of show you that, him doing this to us at this point, well, he's done this in his relationships, with his personal relationships. So, in some ways, somebody reminded me of that on Twitter saying, well, DeMar has been like this in his personal relationships. So why wouldn't he backstab Toronto Raptors Nation and do this like this? That's what somebody said. Now, you know what? That makes a lot of sense because his relationship stuff is messy as hell and he did not handle it well. So in some ways, some people just don't work consciously in certain areas of their life and thinking that deeply. And it could very well be this may be a place where DeMar is put in a place all of a sudden, a little bit of a pawn by Kendrick Lamar. And all of a sudden now it's hurting him. And he didn't even realize how the ripples would hurt him. Maybe very similar to how things went in his personal life in some ways. He's doing something. He didn't realize the outcome with how it would hurt things. Either way, DeMar, I don't know. Are you going to heal things with Toronto or are you going to let things be like how they are? I don't know. Once again, I will remind you, the fans had no problem with you. We were trying. I love you, man. And I felt like what happened with you in the front office was sad, and I was really mad at them. You could go back and look at my archive. There are many, many streams where I talk about you very emotionally, saying things about like, I wish we hadn't done this to you, that Masai Ujiri was wrong for this. This is the one day that I was really pissed off at Masai Ujiri. I'm going to talk about it on his birthday, where I was mad at him for trading DeMar, really, really mad at him. In fact, I was trying to decide whether I want to watch NBA or not ever again in the summer that we traded DeMar DeRozan. In fact, that year we won the championship, I almost didn't watch it because I was so mad about that trade. And now, I'm at this point where I'm like, well, why are you doing this with Kendrick? Why did you do this? Seriously, it's crazy. It is crazy. Mo saying Scotty and IQ address the media tomorrow morning. So excited. Pen to paper. Yes and yes. That's right. Tomorrow they're going to get those deals done. The big, huge extensions that are going to be very impressive. Scotty will become the highest paid player in Raptors history, which is very, very cool. Scotty, secret Twitch session last night. Secret. Yeah. I was one of 3 people that were there for like maybe 10 minutes. Lloyd went live on Twitch last night playing 2K, and they're doing Pro-Am stuff. And Scotty was on there, and I heard Scotty talking, and he's a lot more loose when he knows he's not on Twitch and being live. He can talk however he wants and do whatever he wants. But it's Scotty. I know your voice, Scott. And I sit in there listening to him and Lloyd, and they're playing some pretty intense 2K right now. That's the normal thing for Scott. If you wonder where Scotty Barnes is on a Saturday night, he's probably in front of the video games playing 2K with Lloyd and Jason and Durrani. Durrani was there, actually. Very, very interesting to see. Durrani has stuck to Scotty's squad, and he is running with them regularly now. Durrani was like us. He was just a Twitch kid in there watching Scotty, and one day Scotty said, I need somebody to help me, and Durrani raised his hand. Well, he's still on the squad because he was in there playing with Lloyd, Jason, and Scotty as one of their 5. So really, really brief, secret Scotty Barnes Twitch stream on Lloyd's account. That's why a lot of people don't know about it or see it, because they don't follow Lloyd. They don't know about what about Lloyd. And well, I saw it and I was in there watching it. Yeah, Scotty seemed really happy and loose with his friends while he was playing. That's what I got from that. Yeah. Let's see. Trevor J saying Caitlin Clark is the first rookie with a triple double in WNBA history. These two are just doing accolades after accolades between Reese and Clark. Amazing. Perfect bird and magic for the WNBA going on right now. Nako saying DeMar seems to find himself in interesting basketball situations, not good or bad, just interesting. Yeah, I want to say this right now. He's not a mastermind. He's not masterminding his daughter doing what she did. He's not masterminding Kendrick Lamar using him as a pawn in some sort of weird ass thing that's going on with him and Drake. No, he is not that kind of thinker. In some ways, he thinks about how he's going to beat somebody on the court with fakes and how he's going to lean and make the shot over them. He's not thinking about these kind of things. I'm telling you, this is just how it is. Gerald's right. Gerald is right. Sue is here, guys. A great Raptor Freak. One of the original Raptor Freaks from the very beginning of this channel. Sue's been supporting this channel from the very beginning. I appreciate Sue so much. And she's got a fantastic music reaction YouTube channel called Play It Again, Sue. I hope that you guys will give her a subscription and check out all the great music she and her friends, Chelsea and everybody else, are reacting to classics and all kinds of genres of music. Definitely check out Play It Again, Sue. Give her a follow just because I told you so. No, it's great stuff. She's saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm currently in Vegas. It landed yesterday, so I'm going to get tickets to watch Team Canada. That is amazing. All right, good. We getting all the covers based, all the everything covered and based that's coming up in Vegas coming up. Trevor J's coming to Vegas very soon. Also, Sue, and he's going to try and get a ticket to that game, but he doesn't have one yet. But you have one to the USA versus Canada Wednesday night game. That is fantastic. I will be covering that game live on the stream, calling it. So that'll be awesome to know that Sue will be in the house in Vegas to watch that game in person. Now, Trevor has come to Vegas the next day, or he may be coming there on Tuesday to try and get to that game also. And then he's going to all the Summer League games after that. So he will be at every single one of the Summer League games after that. So Raptor family is covering all the big games coming up that matter to our channel, whether it's Team USA, Team Canada friendly game on Friday night. Sue's there. And, well, Trevor's going to be at the Summer League game. So we're in Vegas, baby. RFF, repping Vegas, baby. Let's go, Sue. Let's go. Down to Fremont Street. Nako's saying, out of everyone in his class, Scotty has the best contract. So Nako's looked at him. Well, that makes sense. He has the most accolades. He's the rookie of the year. He's the first all-star from that group. So that makes complete sense. It absolutely does. And that's part of why they figure it out, is that Scotty's got those accolades that he's been given. And that means he has to be paid a little bit more than Franz and Cade and Evan. So, yeah, that's just how it goes. Josh Giddey. Yeah, those guys. Josh got traded already. That's crazy. Yeah, let's see. Sue's saying, hi, Mo. I can't wait to hear from Scotty and IQ, too. Can't wait for the season to start. Yeah, it's going to be very, very fun. Very, very fun. These guys are going to be smiling real big. IQ and Scotty coming in. Yeah, this is a good day for them coming up tomorrow. Yeah. Their lives will change very, very much right there. Yeah, hopefully y'all don't forget. Don't go big time and stop working. That's what I got to say to you guys. Understand the world of Siakam. Siakam got that bag. He still works harder than ever. And that's the way you get more and you get to better places in your career. You want to achieve on the court. You don't want to just achieve that bag, guys. You want to achieve on that court and keep striving, and trying to get the chip. And the other stuff too, the MVPs, the All-Stars, and stuff like that. That's right. G saying, nice to see you, Sue. Yeah, G, remember Sue from way back. G was an original too in the early days of this channel, like 3 years ago almost. It'll be 3 years in September since I started this channel. And G and Sue were there the first month I started it. That's right. They were two of the very, very originals. Cowboys saying, number 22, let's go. That's right. I think the Cowboys already all about the Comshay, and he's going to be going to get that jersey, that number 22. I think that was a Patrick McCaw number, right? Wasn't that Patrick McCaw's number 22? Well, it's Ulrich's now. That's right. G saying Scotty may become a billionaire by the time he's 32, depending on accolades. No joke. Well, I mean, the money is going that way in the NBA. Yeah, who knows? In some ways, billionaires shouldn't exist. I'll say this once again. There's no reason why any billionaires should exist. If we had a just society, there would be a cap on how much you could earn, because in some ways you don't need that amount of money ever. People say, oh, no, you should be able to make as much money. Bullshit. You're hoarding. You're hoarding resources. You're hoarding wealth. And in some ways, that wealth is the wealth that would be used to feed little babies at the poorer end of the spectrum. So I say hard cap. You can't make over $1 billion. You can make this amount of money. And after that, everything goes back into society and social programs and building roads and feeding babies that are malnourished and poor. We have enough abundance on this earth. It's just that we have selfish ass, greedy ass motherfuckers that have so much fucking money they don't need. So I would say this: let's cap how much people can make, and wealth tax is very important in this society at this point. We need a wealth tax so much right now. That trickle down economics that were lied to us by Reagan have been a scam this whole fucking time, and it's only gotten to this point. Well, there needs to be some taking it back. And that's the way you do it. Because honestly, they're going to say, what, you're stealing from us? Bullshit. You stole our labor. You stole our blood, sweat, and tears for decades now. And you've stolen from us. And at some point, we got to come and take it from you. And that's what I would say about that right there. Yeah. Fuck the name billionaire. And if Scotty becomes that, shame on him is what I'll say. Yeah, he should give away some of it. Tom's saying, if you Google who is the lowest paid NBA player, it's Mo Gay. Good morning. Yeah, I don't know why we need to slam him for that, Tom. In some ways, like I said, going along with what I just said, well, he's a humble guy. He's just trying to make the league. In some ways, I go for the underdog. So in some ways, I'm not going to make fun of him for that. I love Mohamedou. In some ways, I just saw him 2 weeks ago at the Wicked play, and then he got waived by our team 3 days later. Man, I'm so glad I did not go up to him and talk to him about the Raptors, because it would have seemed really, really bad afterwards. That's right. Yeah. Sue saying, hey, G, nice to be seen. Now that I'm not working for summer, I can be here more often. More often my work block live streams. Great to chat with you. There you go. Okay, there you go. Maybe they knew Sue was watching live streams. They're like, we got to block the live stream. She's watching Raptor Street. But now that she's got summertime off, she can be among us more often. That's awesome. I know Sue watches us at different times. And of course, she's involved in our Facebook chat and in different other places. Of course, I interact with Sue on her channel also. I go there and drop comments in her clips, and especially when she does bands that I love. Oh my gosh, when she's doing somebody like Simple Minds or Guns N' Roses or U2 or something like that, Pink Floyd. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, Sue's doing one of my favorite bands. I got to go see what she's reacting to. Really cool stuff on her channel. Seriously, really, really cool stuff. Tommy's got the sunrise coming up. Yes, good to see you, Sue. Have fun in Vegas. I'm all about that. Yeah, just don't, be careful with your money. Don't let it fly away like Tommy's showing there. Sue saying, hi, Tom. Hopefully I will win some cash. There you go. I like it. I love it. There's a little jackpot, little slot machine. There you go. Cool Cat's here. Good to see Coach. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. NBA using the fair concept. Revenue is split 50-50 between owners and players. If every industry split revenue fairly between owners and workers, society would be better off. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this used to be the social contract between the owners of a business and the workers, who are the blood, sweat, and tears that make that business go. This is why unions are absolutely necessary, because this is true. Wages have not gone up. Profits have. And the profits are just being stuck at the very, very top in crazy ass ways, whether it's the CEO class keeping it for themselves for all kinds of crazy, exorbitant salaries that aren't fair or right. There's all kinds of ways. Businesses that actually do this split, Cool Cat, that we're talking about, are more successful. You know why? Because their employees feel valued and actually rewarded correctly, and they're more productive. I don't think that corporations understand this, these idiots. They just want to squeeze as much blood from a stone as they can. Well, at some point, there's going to be a breaking point with your greed. And I'm going to continue to say that over and over again. Yeah, that's a great setup. In some ways, the players over the years had to fight to get their percentage up to 50% with the owners. And I'm very glad about this. I'm very, very glad about this. Yeah. Bryce is saying, good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Good morning to you, Bryce, holding it down in K-Tuck. Cool Cat saying, now how the players determine contract between the best and lowest players needs improving. Yes, the middle class players' compensation cut dramatically, which is not good. Yeah. I mean, listen, there's going to be a very few halves, the max players that are on teams, 2 or 3 of them at the most, and then everybody else. And there's a gap of pay where the talent is not a gap. There's guys that aren't going to be that far off from the third best player, and they're going to be paid very low money. It's going to be weird. In some ways, that does need to get worked out. And that's the players union in the negotiations, but they're set now on this bargain already. So a lot of the guys are screwed at this point. Players like Gary Trent Jr. So I mean, you guys in your union voted for this, and maybe the voices weren't heard enough from the lower end of the players because, yeah, this is not fair in some ways. And well, over time, this will have to be adjusted again. And I'm sure there will be a lot of griping with the players union that the players that are in the middle, stuck in the middle, will make their voices heard. And that the next time around, they will hopefully get a fair cut. Seriously, yeah. Cool Cat saying, Lex, I would think Siakam was prevented from the qualifiers because of cost and permission from his team, the Pacers. I remember the Raptors had a similar situation. Well, it's interesting because he announced that he was intending to be there and play for Cameroon. But then the official reason was something about, well, he's in a free agency period and he can't come and do it because of that. It could be some insurance things or something like that. Who knows? It could be cost. In some ways, I don't actually understand the Olympic system. You know, I've wondered before, do the players get paid to be there and show up and do this? You know, because some ways you got to say, like, the players, they get paid so much to play in the NBA. What, they want to come and play for free just because they love their country? Well, that's idealistic and awesome if they do, but I don't know if that's totally true. And in some ways, you also bring up another part that's important is the liability, the insurance, and how much a country like Cameroon may be willing to put up just in case something really bad happens with Siakam. So yeah, these are real world issues, and in some ways, that may be part of the reason why none of the NBA guys came and showed up for Cameroon. I don't know, I have no idea, but it's too bad because they were so close. They're so close, and if they get their proper NBA support from their NBA players from Cameroon, that country's there. The country's there, and they're going to be able to play against the best teams in the league and compete, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Nako saying Ulrich's 1 year away from being 2 years away. Yeah, those jokes, in some ways, they're sensitive around Raptors Nation, Fran Fraschilla. And in some ways, I wouldn't even say that that's what it is. I think that what he's going to do, Nako, is he's going to show up and he's going to be a power on 905. He's going to be a defensive presence. He's going to be a badass. And he's going to be very useful right away. In some ways, Bruno was not useful right away. Comshay will be. Watch. Comshay will be useful right away. Watch. Cowboys saying, good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Happy Sunday. Do we now have the contract deals on Comshay? How many years and such? Let's grow. It's just a normal, like, end of the draft kind of a deal. It's nothing special or extra big or anything. I didn't see the exact numbers. I mean, maybe I should go look in the chat real quick. Maybe you guys posted it in the Facebook chat real quick. There's Zach's contract. Let me see. What are you guys saying? I don't know if I had the exact details on Ulrich's contract. Exactly. Let me see. Did you guys post the exact deal? Let me just see. You guys post so much. It's sometimes hard for me to sort through everything. Yeah, OG officially signed for sure. That's a crazy long post, Monique. That is very long post. That's crazy. I don't know. Where's Ulrich? Where is it? Where is it? I don't see it. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get the exact number. Cowboy, I don't know. You find out later. Sometimes the money details don't come out right away. I'm sure it's not very much. I'm sure he's making under $2 million a year, and he's only got like a 1 or 2 year guarantee with like a team option on a third year or something like that. I'll bet you that's what it is. Something like that. Cool Cat saying, Lex, DeMar is making sure his contract money is number one, then Chip second. Yeah, I guess so, because that's true. If he's going to Sacramento, that's true right there. Yeah. DeMar is a clown, is what James is saying. See, in some ways, I wouldn't allow that a week ago, but I'll allow it today. In some ways, somebody had said that about DeMar last Sunday. I would have been very defensive for DeMar. At this point, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. That sucks. I hate that. I hate that so much. Cowboy saying 54. Happy birthday to the world's boss, Masai. There you go. Yeah, happy birthday to the GOAT, Masai Ujiri. Yeah, you got a lot of fans on this channel. The Raptor Freaks love you, Masai. We trust you, and we really appreciate the work you and Bobby and Dan have done this summer with reshaping our roster. We're very excited about the new era, the barbecue era, and the prospects of the young players that you brought to our team in the draft this year. Very, very fun. Most saying Northside Crew audition soon. Just a reminder. Yeah, guys, just so you know, the Raptors are very much an organization that wants to involve creators and talented people, whether it's the new art call for fan art from Raptors fans because they're going to utilize it on Raptors admin, whether it's them calling out and saying, you want to sing the anthem. at the arena. You could come and try out and be one of the people that sings the anthems at the game. Whether it's you want to be a little baller, you're a little kid, you got some moves, you can do a head spin, go on down there, a little baller, and ball out. You could be a little baller. Well, you could also be Northside Crew. And Northside Crew is the dance group for the Raptors, and they are having their auditions. So that's the thing. All this stuff happens right now. So if you want to be a part of the show and get down there, yeah, audition. That's right. Right. Northside Crew represent. Yeah, Tommy's got Messiah on blast. I love it. Look at this celebrating. There we go. Cowboys saying, I still wish DeMar the best. Can't wait to see Ulrich block him at the basket. Yeah, I want to see that too. I do. Man, why did you do this? Why did you do this to Rosen? Seriously. We didn't deserve DeRozan. What do you mean we didn't? We drafted him. We did deserve him. We drafted him. We summoned him to Canada, and he came and he had a very successful career in Canada. He's had more playoff success in Toronto than any other stop in his career. I have to remind people this. He got the Eastern Conference Finals as a Raptor, right? Didn't he? Yeah, wasn't he? It was the Eastern Conference Finals, or it was almost the second round. It's better than the Bulls, and he didn't do jack shit in San Antonio. So what the hell? What did he not deserve? What did he not deserve? Or what did we not deserve? I don't get that line, Kendrick. It's just because we traded him to get a draft pick? No, that's smart GMing. If the Lakers did that, Kendrick, you wouldn't be saying this. You would be like, oh, man, Rob Pelinka's a genius. He just traded, let's see, who would be the right person? So he just traded Kobe, and he got a championship the next year or something like that. You know, you don't understand. You're not a Toronto Raptors fan. In some ways, we did good business, and we ended up with a championship. In some ways, yeah, we didn't deserve DeMar DeRozan because we sacrificed him for Kawhi Leonard and got a championship. Okay, get all salty and mad. You guys are so salty and mad that we won in 2019 still. Whether it's DeMar or any of the Americans, I go and look at the Summer League schedule for the Raptors on ESPN, and they're doing this shit on purpose. They are, first of all, if y'all aren't, y'all are really bad at your jobs because, first of all, when I was raised and I took journalism classes when I was in high school, they told you to proofread and to make sure you don't have any mistakes in your text, in your type, in what you're writing in your articles. And ESPN, you can all the time, and I know it's just shade against this. There is a schedule for the Summer League up on ESPN right now that has the Utah Jazz versus the Toronto Jazz listed on there. Yeah, Toronto Jazz versus Utah Jazz. What the fuck is that, ESPN? Do you proofread? Do you look at it? Or is that just on the download shade towards us because you're saying, oh, we don't matter. We don't even care. We're not even going to proofread this shit. And, oh, we've written Toronto Jazz versus Utah Jazz. Seriously. Either y'all are unprofessional and shitty at your job, or you're purposely throwing shade at Toronto because you're still mad we won the championship in 2019. That's the only two things I could think of it is. It's either ESPN is absolutely inept as journalism, as proofreaders, as editors, as checking their fucking facts, or they're still salty and they did that shit on purpose. They say, yeah, I hate the Raptors so much because they fucking stole that championship in 2019. I'm going to write Toronto Jazz. Seriously, go look at the Summer League schedule on ESPN. It'll say that on there. You'll see it and you'll be like, oh my God, Lex is right. It says Toronto Jazz versus Utah Jazz. Well, either way, I'm pointing out your mistake. Either you're stupid or you're doing this shit on purpose. That's what I'll say right there. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, a little feisty this morning. There you go. Cool Cat saying it's awesome for fans to support Team Canada live in Vegas. That's right. Wear the red and white. Go down there with your maple leaf and show support for our team. And hopefully we can show something where we have the good chemistry and the vibes. Because listen, those guys just showed up. They're showing all these clips of Team USA showing up in Vegas. We see Big Dummy, Joel Embiid, Will Smith, Frankenstein showing up and hugging Kevin Durant. It's like, oh, this is going to be great, guy. This is going to be great having you around. Yeah, what the fuck is that? That's some bullshit. Joel Embiid being on Team USA. We see Kawhi showing up straight from Costa Rica Wildman zone and coming in, and he's looking really strong, honestly, looking all business, looking like he's coming in to do something. We see Steph Curry showing up. These guys just showed up. Like in the last 2 days. Our guys have been working together for over 2 weeks now. And they've been working together here in OVO Center, here in Toronto, and putting in a lot of work to get their chemistry and their cohesion up. And what did Team USA just showed up yesterday? Yeah, let's see who's ready on Wednesday. Let's see who's ready on Wednesday. And I'm going to say that. Listen, you guys can come and show up and casually stroll in and take all the pictures and be, ooh, Team USA's here. Ooh, this is exciting. They're all together. Well, they just showed up yesterday. And Team Canada's been playing together for like 2 weeks, very seriously, an intense training camp. And we'll go ahead and see who's ready on Wednesday as far as who's meshing. Yeah, we'll go ahead and see. You guys can figure it out in 3 days. You go ahead and figure it out in 3 days, USA. Because I think Sue and Trevor are going to be going to a game. They're going to be seeing Canada kick your ass all over the strip in Las Vegas. I want to say that right now. Because y'all have the audacity to think, oh, we're so good. We're just going to show up and we're going to instantly mesh. I mean, I played with you on the All-Star game. Yeah, All-Star game is great for really showing that y'all are teammates. Yeah, that's just cardio, motherfuckers. Yeah, like the All-Star game has at any point been kind of, oh, but I played in the Olympics with you, Kevin, like 10 years ago. Oh, yeah, I remember that, LeBron. Let's fucking go. Yeah, we'll see how this works. We'll see how basketball works like this. Is it just talent? Throw it together, add water, it works? Or is it something that you have to put in the oven and cook for a while? Because honestly, we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see on Wednesday. And what I just pointed out may be the factor right there, right there. Cowboys saying, good morning, Sue. Hope you get a chance to meet Trevor J, the Raptor Freak legend. Yeah, both of them are Raptor Freak legends. The commissioner of fun, Trevor J, and played against Sue are great valued MVP Raptor Freaks for sure. Yeah, Trevor J saying, my friend who works for the media who lives in Vegas already got me a ticket for Canada versus USA. There you go. So Trevor's set. He'll be there. His media friend is hopefully going to get him some access to areas that he couldn't get access to normally as a person. So that would be very fun to see too. So I'm hoping that is what happens for Trevor J. And if you can link up with Sue, that would be awesome. All right. Commissioner of Trivia, David Saborn, has checked in. It is time for the classic card of the day. Cosmic Classic Card of the Day, commissioned by Trevor J., Commissioner of Fun, going to Vegas. Got his ticket. Let's see who we get today. And all right, this is cool. You know what? This is weird because we'll see. We'll see. All right, we're at 10 o'clock on the timestamp for when we come back. All right, let's go. Don't half-ass me. Here's the card. Let's get right on it. It's a Cavalier, obviously. It looks like he's got a little bit of leaping ability there. This is very interesting. This may be a little bit harder for the regular classic card, David, just to keep that in mind. This may be a little bit more difficult. Brad Doherty is a great guess. The jersey is right for that, Isaac. But that is not Brad Doherty. This player is much shorter than Brad. He is not a center. This is not a center, but he is getting up there. It's not a bad guess. It's not a bad guess. Brad Doherty, former all-star center for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Nope, that is not him. In some ways, this guy was more known for playing for another team, and this is kind of he came to this team after playing for the other team. This may be tough. As Smooth is here, he may have a chance. But this may be very difficult, guys. I'll start giving you guys some clues after another guess. So let's see. All right, Milbester, you'll have to guess. Why don't you guess, man? Instead of like just giving me fun facts about your cousin. Go ahead and just tell me who you think this is, Milbester. Get in the ring, bro. Get in the ring like Andre. Step over the top rope and tell me who the fuck this Cleveland Cavalier is, Milbester. Come on now. You know all this stuff. New York stuff. Let's find out who this is. Who is that? You guys don't know? I want another guess. Cowboys laughing. Cowboys laughing because I'm kind of giving the business to Milbester here. Come on, y'all. Cowboy, just give me a random guess. Go ahead and write Bruce Willis in. Well, I don't care. Write Bruce Willis in. I don't care. Write somebody in. Cowboy's on the timer. He can't. So anybody else? There we go. Slug Deezy got it. We got a new name came in and got it. Slug Deezy, longtime Raptor freak. Been around, comes and watches sometimes. And look, he actually got into the battle. He joined the battle and got John Battle. That's exactly right, Slug Deezy. I'm proud of you. Yeah, John Battle, of course, more well-known for playing for the Atlanta Hawks. He was the backcourt mate of Glenn Doc Rivers for a while there and played in a three-guard backcourt with Spud Webb also. John Battle, wow, 150. Nicely done. That's a good score, Slug Deezy. A difficult classic card. A great debut, and trivia commissioner David is giving you 150 points for a very good job. Yeah, good job, Slug Deezy. It could be that Slug knew the card because he's seen the card because he has it. It could be also that it's just that he's that much like an NBA fan, that he understands that this is John Battle. John Battle is not a very well-known player. Let's just put it that way. All right, good job. Great job on the classic card today. I was starting to think of like, what is my clue going to be? But then boom. Just came in and got it. That's really good. All right, let's see. Cowboys saying right on, Trevor. And Sue saying, Trevor J, we should try to meet up if you're interested. I will also be at the first day of Summer League. Unfortunately, I missed the wraps, but we'll see the first day. Let me know if you want to meet. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Trevor is coming to Toronto this fall, so hopefully we'll get to meet him also here. Let's see. I wasn't slamming him. Bad interpretation of my comment. Oh yeah, well, Mohamedou. I'm sorry. I always like take the impression of things, and I'm like, man, I feel bad for him because I can understand he should be better. No, it's all good, Tom. In some ways, that's a fun fact, and it's kind of sad to me in some ways. I don't think he is though, because if you really think about it, there's guys in the NBA that make like really little, but who knows? Maybe he is. I don't think he is though. It's weird, but if you Google it, it comes up like that. That's crazy. That's interesting. Sue saying, "Hey Bradley, I hope I can connect with Trevor J too. Yeah, that'd be great." Cowboy saying, "I knew you weren't Tom Dukes. It's just facts. I'm glad I met him. Gay is such a nice guy, great guy. Yeah, see, Bradley met him after the coach's open house last season when we went to that. He ran into him outside. I think he was with Garrett Temple or something like that." Milbester is here. Good morning, Lex. Happy Sunday. Summer League begins tomorrow. What are you looking forward to the most about Raptors Summer League? Mikal Bridges, Knicks press conference on Tuesday. Can't wait. I am very much looking forward to seeing Jacoby Walter, Jonathan Mobo, Ulrich Komsche, Jamal Shed, Brandon Carlson, Quincy Guerriere. Yeah, that's what I'm interested in seeing. The Raptors. And Bronny had his Summer League debut. And yeah, it's so stupid. Like on ESPN, they have an article about Bronny and what matters about Bronny. They're trying to tell us what mattered the most about Bronny in his Summer League debut. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. They're going to tell us what the perception of Bronny should be by writing articles and trying to shape it for us. Now, Bronny was 1 for 7 and got 4 points or something like that. It's really stupid. But they really are trying to like shine a piece of shit. They really are. They're trying to like make it, sell it to you like it's a diamond. And the thing is that Bronny, the one thing they said that is so good about what he did is he's good at getting the passing lanes, getting a steal, and getting a breakaway dunk. Okay, all right. He did it once, and then he did it the second time, and he stepped out of bounds. Yeah. In some ways, there's going to be so much overhype and over coverage of this kid that he just does not deserve, and it's already started. So ESPN trying to shape what mattered about Bronny. They're already saying this. It's like, oh, yeah, he didn't really do a whole lot, but you know what? This is what's supposed to happen the first. This is overanalyzing. This is absolutely overanalyzing, and this is stupid. And ESPN, if you're going to be treating Bronny like the Lakers all year long and shoving down our face and telling us how we should think about him, well, everybody needs to understand that's their perception, and that doesn't have to be the reality of the world. And don't let the media shape your perception just because they're trying to tell you. This is a perfect example of how we can teach people the difference between the reality of the world and what the perception of the media is trying to force on us. And that is what this is right here. Seriously. They're going to use Bronny James and going to try and tell us just exactly who they want us to think he is. Right there. Right there. Michael Borland's here again. Good to see Michael in again a couple times in a row now. DeMar going to Sacramento is like if John Tavares signed with Ottawa instead of the Leafs. Yeah, I don't get this. I mean, it's not exactly like that. I mean, I guess, yeah, Ottawa's the right team. You didn't say Montreal. It's like, yeah, in some ways it's like that. It's not that we wanted him to come back to Toronto, though. It's a weird thing. In some ways, it's like, look, there was 5 years that have been passed. Why are you so salty now? Even like the thing with what happened with your daughter, you handled that really, really well, DeMar. There wasn't any kind of like thing where I felt like you were being mad at the Raptors. It was just your daughter was mad at us. In some ways, you handled it very classy and professionally. But now all of a sudden you're showing your ass. Why? Why do this now? Seriously. In some ways, it's not smart. You're destroying things that you built up for over a decade. And now it's like, why would you do this, DeMar? It doesn't serve you in any kind of way. It's only destructive for you. It's only destructive for you. In some ways, the Raptors nation, the Raptor freaks, what we do is going to go on no matter what, no matter any individual. It's going to go on, whether Vince, Chris Bosh, DeMar DeRozan, I don't give a shit who it is. We will go on. We will persist. But in some ways, your legacy, your image in our eyes as a player is being deteriorated right now by the moment. And each one of our minds, as this goes on longer and longer, it sucks. In some ways, it's just like you could put the fire out a little bit right now by kind of saying something that's like, you know what, look, I may be mad at Drake. I may be mad at Masai because he traded me. And I really loved Kendrick, and I'm going to support Kendrick because he's from where I'm from, and we're going to do what we're going to do. You need to clarify that you're not mad at us because seriously, we didn't do anything to you, DeMar. The Raptors fans, we didn't do anything to you, and in some ways, doing what you're doing is you're hitting innocent people. That it wasn't right. There's little kids that really idolize you that are kind of like in a weird place right now because in some ways you're alienating us. What are you saying? That we're not like you? Or what are you saying that we didn't deserve you on our team? Did you deserve those millions of dollars that our team paid you? I think that this is a deal and a transaction where everybody gets what they get. And in some ways, people saying that we didn't deserve you. What the fuck is that? We made you, motherfucker. Kendrick Lamar, don't speak for DeMar DeRozan. How about that? How about that? How about that? Yeah. Mel Mester saying iHeart had his press conference already with the Thunder. I wonder if Mikal Bridges. All right, that's your one Knicks comment. Yeah, I'm not reading any more Knicks-centric comments. Slug DZ saying DeMar should have shown honor to the franchise and city that changed the life of his and the generations of his family and stayed out of it. I lost all respect for him now. In some ways, I'm not at that point, but I'm leaning more and more towards this. If he does not show some sort of thing where he understands the difference between us and Drake, the difference between us and the front office of the Raptors. And in some ways, that's something that Vince was blind to too when he went through what he did. You've got to understand there's different entities in this whole thing. And you got little kids that grew up idolizing you, DeMar DeRozan, here in Toronto. And right now they're confused about your message. And Slug DZ is saying he's lost all respect for you at this point. And I have to respect that because in some ways I would have fought for your honor. But at this point, if you're not going to show that you have any kind of like love for Raptors fans, the city, yeah, I can't stand up for you. Seriously, I cannot. And Slug DZ's right. Milbester is saying DeMar's glad he's out of Chicago. DeRozan was stuck for years with the Bulls. Even if they paid him a lot of money, they were stuck as a playing team. And Lonzo was injured for 2 years, set them back. Yeah, that's a synopsis right there. Lonzo Ball and Zach LaVine really messed up that Bulls franchise last few years to stall out and be nowhere. And yeah, in some ways, he loved being in Chicago. And he really, in some ways, I hate how much he's in a love affair with Chicago now. And he's fucking stabbing us in the back. It is what it is. He would have liked to have stayed in Chicago, but he saw he was going nowhere and he needed a new, fresh start. That's for sure. David saying DeMar is just sour because him and Kyle built the team up and worked their asses off. And then we won a chip without him. Said we couldn't do without him. I was saying for a while, because this question comes up, Stephen A. Smith has said it himself, that he thinks the Raptors could have won the championship with DeMar and staying instead of trading for Kawhi. And in the past, I've entertained that idea, but deep down inside, I know that's not true. And in some ways, people may have said that just to make DeMar feel better. Seriously. I mean, even when I said it in the past, I think that we could have won the championship with DeMar instead of Kawhi. I feel hollow and not like that doesn't ring true. Let's be honest here. Kawhi Leonard was a whole other level than DeMar DeRozan when he came here and did what he did. And I don't think we would have won the championship instead with DeMar. Now, I think we could have won the championship possibly with Casey instead of Nurse, but not DeMar instead of Leonard. And if that hurts him to hear that right now, well, in some ways I would have defended and say, yeah, we probably could have won it with DeMar. But at this point, why would I even lie for you at this point, DeRozan? Because that's not true. Some of the NBA players are saying, yeah, the Raptors probably could have won with DeMar. No, I don't think that's true. And this is somebody who has said that, for a while. But now at this point, really, I'm lying to myself when I say we could have won a championship without doing that Kawhi Leonard trade. No, that's not true. That is not true right there. Mike saying acquired the draft rights to center Ulrich Kamche from the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange for cash considerations. Raptors expect Kamche to develop in the G League once a two-way contract is signed. So they're saying that they wrote this a couple weeks ago that they expect him to be on a two-way. I don't think Kamche is going to be on a two-way. I think he's going to maybe be on an Exhibit 10. I'm not totally sure what level he's beyond. Mike, I think that they're going to keep this third two-way open for the whole summer league. Now, if Kamche comes to summer league and he shows it and he earns it, that's how they do it. They've got two locked down already, DJ Carton and Brandon Carlson. Those are the two ways we have already. Now, the third two-way is going to be wide open depending on how guys do at summer league. Last year, that spot to get on the team was Gay's to get, and then the two-way was won by somebody else like Marquise Noel. So that's the thing. Somebody's gonna have to win the two-way in the summer league action, and Comche's in the competition for it. But I don't think he's just granted the two-way. It may depend on how they gauge him for how much he needs to be a project, and they say, well, he's really raw and rough. I don't think we should put him on the two-way up on the Raptors. Just let him do a straight 905 this year. That could be possible. I'm just going to say that. Now, apparently, we got Comche for $1 million traded to Memphis. That's all we gave up. Seriously, that's crazy. Smooth saying, good morning, all. Just joined the stream. DeMar's fit with Sacramento is questionable, man. Don't think it will work, but good luck to him. Yeah, I think you might be right. I think that in some ways, Kings fans this morning are saying we just swapped out Harrison Barnes for DeMar DeRozan. Well, we got shorter. Seriously, is DeMar shorter than Harrison Barnes? In some ways, they're comparable players. Honestly, I think that the clutch factor and the scoring is a little bit better with DeMar, but a lot of the wisdom and a lot of kind of the role stuff that they do, Harrison Barnes is not that far off from DeMar DeRozan. And well, in some ways, Harrison Barnes may be laughing in this whole thing, because now he's going to get to play with Wemby and Chris Paul and on a Spurs team that may be about to make a huge leap. So in some ways, hey, it all works out for different people. You want to be back in California? Well, welcome to Sacramento, DeMar. That's where you're back at. Yeah, I might get along with you this smooth. As far as the fit, DeMar on the Kings is awkward. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see it in practice. I'm gonna have to see if it works. It could be that their record really indicates that it's not working. Yeah, David's getting adapt for smooth. Bam. Trevor's saying, Sue, I will try my very best to hook up, guys. I would love to see you guys. I have a couple of engagement to attend to. You guys are linked on Facebook, right? So maybe you guys can Facebook message each other. I know she's in our chat, and you are too, Trevor. So in some ways, that may be the best way for you guys to get in touch with each other on the ground. There you go. Cowboy saying, good morning, Milbester. Let's grow Raptors. Let's go. Chef Darko is going to take them out to dinner. A lot of games, 3 games straight, coming hot and heavy this year. So he's saying there's going to be a lot of Darko dinners because of 3-game win streaks. I like that. And I like that you didn't call it a pizza party. Let's see. David's saying, you're giving ESPN way too much credit. They are incompetent at all of the above mentioned, Lex. Okay, so David's saying they're just idiots and they're not very good at their jobs. I'd hate to think that they did this on purpose, that they called this the the Toronto Jazz on purpose. You're probably right. They probably, I also understand, like it used to be when I was younger, the press, that was how you kind of made the newspaper or the magazines or the press jobs, was you showed how accurate you were, how much good editing skills you have. But I think at this point, with texting and vernacular and short and LOL and all this kind of stuff, there's a lot of kids that are coming up and taking these media jobs that are not trained properly in punctuation, spelling, a proper way to write out with like sentences and periods. So there's a lot of problems with like bad editing by youngsters who just don't do it correctly. I feel like that's true. It may be a symptom of texting culture. It may be a symptom of, there's a lot of misspelling words because people are not understanding how to spell the correct one, like here, HEAR or HRE, HERE, that there's a lot of bullshit like that going on. And in professional jobs where they're supposed to be journalists or editors are not doing stuff correctly. I don't know what's going on. Tighten up your ship, ESPN, because if you're a journalistic enterprise, y'all should have better editors. That's what I would say, because there's all kinds of mistakes. That site is rife with mistakes on it. Seriously, at this point, it used to be very tight and very factual. And I'm like, I could go on ESPN's website and I'd be like, yeah, I don't find any mistakes. Oh, it's rife with mistakes at this point. Yeah. Smooth saying, I love DeMar's contributions to Raptor history, but remember, he had a loser attitude against the Cavs. He went into the series thinking the Raptors lost. Yeah, I actually vaguely remember that. That's a good memory, Smooth. I do remember that. Yeah, the LeBronto thing kind of became bigger than it should have been in our heads. I do blame like Casey and DeMar for being the reason why we hit our head on the ceilings of why we didn't get further in the playoffs, along with LeBron's presence. Casey wouldn't adjust game to game when we saw we were getting beat in certain ways, but he had no answer. And then Nurse came in and he could do it. DeMar had a really bad proclivity to want to try and beat 3-on-1s by himself. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Just pass it out. Don't try and go up and get contact and go over 2 guys. You're very selfish in that way, DeMar. In some ways, it was like I saw so many times back in the history of DeMar DeRozan where he could have dumped it off to his teammate, but he selfishly tried to take on two guys at once and score on them. It was so aggravating. Well, he still did that shit in the playoffs. He still did that shit for Chicago and San Antonio after us. So in some ways, he's annoying for that he doesn't take high percentage shots. In fact, he wouldn't work in Darko's system because like Gary Trent Jr., he's trying to take crazy ass hard shots instead of working it to his teammate for the easy, open, high percentage shot. Instead, he's taking a low percentage, selfish ass, I'm going to beat two defenders myself kind of shot. That's DeRozan right there. That's not winning basketball. That's not, I mean, it looks great. Oh, you're a really good offensive scorer. But in some ways, that doesn't win basketball. And when he got traded, well, that got that off our team as a high usage. So I would say that right there. Isaac's got me on fire. And there's Justin Bieber. You know, Justin Bieber is still around. I don't let him go outside because he could escape. You could escape and run away to the creek down the road. And I don't want you causing any trouble at that creek because if you went down to that creek, you could dam it up. And we don't need no dam. So, yeah, you stay up here, son, and just enjoy the air conditioning in the house and not having to be out there in the 30-degree heat today. All right. So you go ahead. You go. All right. I see what you built in the corner. That's better. You go ahead and go just build that in the corner some more. Just don't. I'm not letting you outside. You can try and whine and cry and all that, but it's not going to happen, Justin. All right. You're my son. I love you. Bye. All right. Let's go. All right. Good. There you go. The Justin Bieber segment of the day. He's my son. Yeah, I son Justin Bieber. Let's see. Milbester saying DeRozan fits perfectly with the Kings. Okay. All right, DeRozan. Milbester. No wonder they traded Davion Mitchell to the Raptors. Malik Monk re-signed with Sacramento. All they needed was a starting shooting guard. Fox, a two-guard, has helped with DeMar and Sabonis. Okay. All right. You can get hooked on that line they're feeding you. You go ahead, Milbester. I think I'm with Smooth on this. I think his fit is awkward, and we're going to have to see how this works. I think Sacramento is going to continue to – yeah, they were high 2 years ago. They were a really good high playoff team doing amazing things. Last year, they sucked. And this year, they may not be any better. They may be even worse. I'm going to say that right now, Bill Bester. Cowboys saying, hope the garden is doing good, David, this summer has been awesome for my peppers. Shine, jutting the day rain. Okay, what is that word, jutting the day rain? What? At night, have waters them like around a month. Thank you, Mother Nature. Yeah, this has been a very precipitous summer. Lots of rain, not needing to do any watering out here. In fact, I've thought that because of so much rain this summer that we've had more berry activity in the yard. You know, berries need a lot of water to grow. And we've had wild strawberries and wild black raspberries growing in the yard and really bearing fruit, which is awesome. And other years when it's too hot and too parched, they won't naturally come up wild like that. So I've been very pleased with the extra water and precipitation and rain this summer because it's actually allowed natural berries to come up in my yard, which is awesome. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Milbester saying now the Kings have a solid starting three. Okay. All right. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Cowboys saying they got nothing on the Raptors, Milbester. Yeah. That's funny. Milbester saying, Lex, my cousin grew up a Cavs fan watching Mark Price in the 90s. He loved Brad Daugherty. Well, your cousin probably watched him in the 80s because that's when they started. Mark Price was in the 80s into the 90s. More well-known in the 80s, by the way, Milbester, just so you know. Let's see. A good job by Slug Deasy getting John Battle today. Very, very impressive. That was not an easy card, and honestly, very, very impressed with that. Let's see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just skip Milbester. Let's see. Slug is getting daps from everybody for doing this. Slug saying, I think Mobo could possibly be our new starting small forward in time. I don't know. That's RJ's spot. I don't think that's I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to say that right now. I don't think he'll be a starter. I think Jonathan's going to be he's going to be hovering around that Precious role. I think he will be. Precious got to start at times when people were hurt, and that will be probably how it works with him. It could very well be that Mobo is an injury replacement in the starting lineup, but that's RJ's spot, man. Don't kid yourself. That's RJ's spot. Yeah. Milbester saying, I think the Raptors will make the playoffs this season. Bulls are in a rebuild. They traded Caruso and DeRozan. Lonzo's still hurt. Chicago's a mess, but they won 6 championships and 2 three-peats with MJ. Yeah, that's ancient history. And this Bulls team ain't got nothing to do with any of that and doesn't look anything like those old Bulls teams. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Vucevic and this whole shakeup with Chicago Bulls. Of course, he's busy in international play trying to help his team get to the Olympics. I appreciate what you're saying about you think that our team's going to make the playoffs. That's very nice of you to say, Neil Bester. In fact, you know what? A Knicks fan telling me that right now, you're going to get a dunk for that because honestly, you didn't have to say that. So you got the Jacoby Walter 14, my guy. You got a 14 Jacoby Walter right now. Muggsy Bogues 14 too. That's very nice of you to say that. Seriously. Well, I think with good health and good gelling with our guys, we could do this. We could make the playoffs this year and surprise a lot of people that think we're going to be a cellar dweller. Yeah, yeah. Most saying, do we know who's coaching Raptors Summer League? Haven't seen anything yet. I don't know. It could be anybody. I mean, they could give Drew Jones a nice head start and going down there to coach, since we are aware that he is the coach for Summer League for the 905. Maybe he comes down there and he starts establishing things. Maybe he's on site and sees the guys and gets to see and talk to Luke Wynn and Masai and all them about who he'd like to invite to be on 905 this season. So I would think the most logical choice would be Andrew Jones, our new 905 coach. There could be an outside chance I could see Evo doing it. It could be Evo Simovic that could be doing it. I don't think Darko will be doing it. Last year it was Rico Hines. Rico Hines was our summer league coach, even though he's about to leave and go join Nick in Philadelphia. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see who our summer league coach is going to be this year. I'd say the top three choices are probably Drew Jones, Ivo Simovic, or whatchamacallit, Pat Delaney. Yeah, I would say it's either one of those three that's going to be coaching summer league mode. We'll see if I'm right on either any of those. Yeah, Michael Borland said, I was meaning he always wanted to play in SoCal. Was Sacramento actually SoCal? Because it isn't. It's more like Central Cal, maybe even North Cal. A Californian would tell you Sacramento is not really Southern California. It's really kind of NorCal, San Francisco. So in some ways, yeah, he got to the right state, but he isn't really in the right area. In some ways, he would have been more in the right area if he'd been on, obviously the Lakers or the Clippers. So, yeah. Let's see. Carlos saying, I'm beginning to feel bad for Bronny. All that hype can destroy a player, and most likely he won't live up to it. Yeah, in some ways, LeBron is being abusive to his son. Seriously. In some ways, he is. We could take a Life of a Child actor and use this as a good example. The kids who were on Different Strokes had a tough life. There's a lot of different young actors that were on sitcoms in the 80s that had drug and alcohol problems because in some ways they were treated like golden children. And they had a certain way of looking at themselves in life. And when that came crashing down, the reality was when you're like no good, when nobody wants you around anymore, it can be very depressing. And that's why some of them had suicide. Some of them had very bad drug addictions, all kinds of different things. In some ways, this mirrors it. Because in some ways, Bronny's going to be put on such a pedestal and put in the spotlight and everything. It may be that he never finds that fall of like grace and like, who knows? But in some ways, he's got to feel a little bit like David Arquette winning the WCW championship and saying, I don't deserve this. In some ways, deep down inside, he might have to feel that somewhere inside him. Yeah. And that's tough. I just hope, he doesn't end up like Drew Barrymore, where he's got like really crazy like problems because of this feeling of like inadequacy for what he's getting. Seriously, it's crazy. Drew Barrymore, of course, had drug and alcohol problems, partly because of her mother being very much that kind of person around her. And right away, party scene for Drew at like 7 years old. It's crazy. Bryce is saying, laugh out loud. That's what happens when your father's the greatest ever. LeBron has spent more than half of his life in the NBA. Of course, his son is going to get some light. He's a junior, laugh out loud. Yeah, it is what it is. It is the monster that's going to be. And, well, I just hope Bronny has the life skills to get through it all and keep his mental health. Let's just put it that way. Cowboy saying, yeah, Slug, and number 22 will be our future center in the time, very near future. Okay, Calm Shade fan number one. Cool Cat saying, DeMar needs to learn how Kyle and Siakam handle media after exiting. Both Kyle and Siakam spoke to the fans personally and declared themselves forever Canadians. That's how you solidify your legacy. Boom, right there. That is an alley-oop for Cool Cat. I'll give her the alley-oop from Bradley, and I'm also going to give her 3 from me because she's exactly right. 66 is your number now, Cool Cat. Yeah, Kyle and Siakam very much strengthening the bond with our city on their way out. OG ambiguous about it, but not hurting it. Fred, he said a nice statement, but some people are like, Fred this, Fred that. But Fred, whatever, he's good with us too. And DeMar was too. He was, even though he didn't make a statement after we traded him. Of course, he's not. He's salty. He's in a weird place. He's depressed. I didn't expect anything like that from him, but he didn't say anything. He didn't badmouth us. He didn't talk down to us. He's described the relationship between him and Toronto as like an ex girlfriend that you still kind of like, and you think, wow, she's still really beautiful. Like he'd come back as a visitor and he'd see Toronto and he'd be like, man, this is like an ex girlfriend. Like I love her in some ways still, but it's like we're not together anymore. And I mean, I get that analogy. Well, what happened? What happened? Why are you mistreating your ex-girlfriend even though you haven't dated her in 6 years? Like, that just doesn't make any sense. Why would you do it now? It's kind of like going to your ex from 6 years ago and like showing up on her front porch and saying, I fuck you. I hate you now. And you're like, wait, we were good. Where were we? Wait, why'd you come over? Why did you do this? Why did you say that to me now? 6 years later, I haven't dated you since 2019. Why are you coming around all of a sudden and telling me fuck you at this point? Doesn't make any sense to me. In some ways, it does not make any fucking sense. Seriously. Quick Takes is here. Good to see NBA Quick Takes. He's been very prolific lately. Lots of content coming out on NBA Quick Takes channel. Y'all definitely check out NBA Quick Takes. He has some interesting takes for sure. Very quick takes for sure. Yo, Raptor Freaks. What's up, Quick Takes? Great to see you at the Coach's Open House this season. And man, keep on keeping on what you're doing on your channel. I love seeing so much content coming out from you these days. It's very, very cool. Very, very cool. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Sunday. Ready to take off from beautiful Vancouver, and we'll watch the stream later while unpacking. Media will ask DeMar, and we'll get his perspective. Meanwhile, I'm more excited with Scotty and the IQ presser. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to ask DeMar. I don't know if he's going to clarify things. In some ways, he may feel like he doesn't have to. He's just going to leave things as they were. Well, there's damage being done right now. You got James. You got Slugged Easy. You got myself questioning our fandom for you, DeMar DeRozan. You want to lose fans? You want to lose money opportunities? Kyle understands this. Kyle can have all kinds of business ventures in Canada. He's still on TV up here. He's still in commercials up here. In some ways, you're cutting off, avenues of revenue for yourself, DeMar DeRozan. If you're, you could be a brand in Canada still. People like you up here, but at this point, no, probably not, because you're alienating us. This is not good business, seriously. In some ways, it's so stupid because you had not alienated us until now. You didn't need to do this. Is what I'm trying to say to him. It's so crazy. Milvester saying Mavericks improved a lot. It's scary. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to do recaps of everybody's things. I don't agree with this. I think Klay Thompson is washed. And in some ways, the Mavericks were lucky they got the finals this year because the Western Conference should have been stronger. If it had been the Thunder, it would have been the Nuggets. If it had been the Timberwolves, it would have been a way better finals. The Mavericks were a joke in the finals. And in some ways, they'll be so lucky if they ever get the finals again. Seriously. So I don't agree with this. I think that in some ways, getting Klay Thompson was not the answer. And that he's washed. Honestly, he's washed. So they go ahead and overpay Klay Thompson to do nothing for them. Watch. Cool Cat saying Kawhi is a two-way player. DeMar is not a two-way. Defense won us all the critical games in the chip. There's another just truthful fact. I'm going to give her another three-pointer for this one. The coach is racking them up right now. 69. 69 is your number now, Cool Cat. She's exactly right. That is the difference right there, DeMar. You were a defensive liability. And not only that, you hogged the ball and tried to score when you shouldn't have, like I described earlier. That's right. Cowboys saying, have fun to eye candy, have a safe flight back. Going from Vancouver all the way back. Crazy. Smooth saying, I never forgave DeMar for his no-shows against the Cavs. He really was up LeBron's ass, like Barkley with Jordan in the 90s. That sucks. I never got that feeling about it, but I guess maybe he was. I don't know. I've always thought that he was tormented by LeBron, but then he goes to Drew League and he plays and they're laughing and palling around in the last few years in LA. I wonder about this. LeBron seems like he did not want DeMar to come and play with him. I think that DeMar said that he wants to play in the LA Lakers, but once again, DeMar's career is going to be known as being blocked by LeBron. Whether it's him on the Toronto Raptors being blocked in the playoffs by LeBron on the Cavs, or it's LeBron on the Lakers blocking DeMar from fulfilling his lifelong dream to play for the Lakers because he does not want him to play with him. They can play in Drew League and be all smiles and stuff, but I really would like to say if DeMar DeRozan was welcome on the Lakers, LeBron would allow him on there. I'm going to say that right now, seriously. Because why? He had a choice a few years ago and he chose Russell Westbrook. I'm just saying he had the opportunity probably to do it this summer. He don't want him on the team. So I'm gonna say that he was willing to make room to get Klay Thompson, but not DeMar DeRozan. So I'm gonna say this: LeBron has blocked DeMar DeRozan his whole entire NBA career from things he wants, from whether it's a championship and getting further in the playoffs as a Raptor, or being on the Lakers. And LeBron being on the Lakers already, he said, "No, I don't want DeMar to be on my team. I've seen what he does firsthand because I did LeBronto, and I saw how to stop him. And he's a liability. In some ways, he's not going to win championship because of the way he plays. He's not a two-way player, as Cool Cat just put. He's not going to play any defense. He'll never win a championship. So why do I want to add him to the Lakers squad and put him on my team? In some ways, LeBron is the king. He could do whatever he wants. He could say, I want DeMar DeRozan on this team tomorrow. He could have said that for a couple of years now. He's had opportunities a couple times now, and he didn't want that. And that's sad. So in some ways, you could look at it, LeBron's blocked DeMar his whole career. Blocked him from things in Toronto and blocked him from being on the Lakers. Right there. There you go. Blackhawks saying Comshay will get a two-way. He hasn't been in the country to sign for it. That's why the two-way isn't gone. No, what I'm saying is, Neil, is that the Raptors organization are smart. They don't give the third two-way away until after things are more sorted out. They use it as a carrot to dangle in front of the whole entire Summer League roster and say, if you want our last two-way, you need to go above and beyond. So don't expect them to just automatically sign a two-way right now. If they do and I'm wrong, okay, I'm wrong. But normally, the third two-way is not given to someone until after Summer League, at least, if not, sometimes after training camp. So the third two-way may not be assigned to anyone until September. Let's just put it that way, just so you know. Cool Cat saying Kings need defense, not offense, to go next level. They need two-way players. Yeah, they got worse in this area. And Cool Cat is really on fire. In fact, I'm going to give her another one. You're getting another dunk. You're at 70 now, 70 dunks. Because that is true. That assessment of the Kings and what they need, well, they went in the wrong direction just now. Let's see. Milbester that's saying that's why the Kings always lost in playoffs. Sacramento is among the top offensive teams in the NBA, average high amount of points in the league on offense, but their defense is terrible. So Milbester, think about what you just said. They added a guy who's a very offensive player, not a good defensive player. So did they help the side of the ball that they need help on? No, they didn't. Harrison Barnes was probably a better defender than DeMar DeRozan. There you go. Cowboys saying, I hope so. Blackhawk is going to be special for the Raptors. Number 22 is going to be special for the Raptors. Well, we'll see. Nothing is given. It's got to be earned. In some ways, Carlson having the two-way is because he's a center. He's a very useful center, and he should be utilized on both levels. Carton, well, he's just coming in because he's the incumbent two-way from last year that we kept on the two-way. But that third one, I have no idea how it could go. You know, it may not be Comshay. It could be Disu. It could be all kinds of different guys that are showing up that get that two-way otherwise. So we'll have to see how it goes. In some ways, some people are saying Mobo might have to be on the two-way. I have no idea. I have to see how the general manager manages the team. David's saying, I read a ton of articles about the financial markets, and it's remarkable how many typos and grammatical errors there are. See, that's crazy. So this isn't just a phenomena in sports journalism. It's in journalism in general that people are just, it is idiocracy at hand. It's idiocracy at hand. In some ways, it's cost cutting. They probably had used to have a couple positions to do different things. There would be a reporter that writes the article. Then they have an editor that they send it to that they look through. Maybe they don't have an editor anymore because cost cutting moves by corporations. And now the writer has to be his own editor, and they're not seeing what they're doing wrong. Yeah, there's all kinds of good reasons for why this is happening, whether it's lower educational standards, whether it's cost cutting by big media companies, whether it's just the people that are doing it are not as well trained or as good at their job at being accurate. There's all kinds of different reasons for this. And is Mike Judge just a prophet for writing the movie Idiocracy? Well, a lot of the trends that we're showing in Idiocracy are actually coming true since that movie was made like 30 years ago. So yeah, it's kind of sad. David's saying number 22 is my favorite number. Is that Comshay? Yeah. Comshay is going to be number 22. Yeah. Smooth saying DeMar no shows in big games, man. Well, this was a knock on both Lowry and DeRozan that they are great regular season players. They can get a really good win percentage in the regular season, but when the playoffs come around, they suck. They absolutely suck. They don't show up. DeRozan never really beat that allegation. He has not ever since. But Lowry has. Lowry has shown up huge in the playoffs since our championship year. But before that, you got to remember, that's why everybody moaned and groaned in the first game of the championship year against Orlando when we lost on our home court to the Orlando Magic, and Kyle Lowry was absolute dog shit. We say, oh my God, this again. DeMar's not here, but Kyle's still doing this shit. No, Kyle beat those allegations, and he showed that he could be a good playoff performer that shows up in clutch and do big things. Whether it was in the playoff run to win the championship in 2019, whether it was in the bubble playoffs against the Celtics and that 7-game series, Lowry proved that he could be a good playoff performer, and he's done good stuff for the Miami Heat since too. But DeRozan, no, he has never ever showed up, and Smooth is exactly right. He's exactly right. I've defended him from these kind of allegations in the past. I've been somebody to say, no, DeMar's this and this. Well, at this point, what do I have to defend him at this point? NBA Quick Take saying could have dumped off to JV many times. Yeah, DeMar had a lot of opportunities because he was doubled to give the ball to a teammate that was open. But in some ways, someone would say, well, the teammates weren't talented enough to make the shot, and he was the better option. Yeah, there may be some truth to that. But still, that wouldn't fly in the Darko era. That kind of shit that DeRozan used to do. It wouldn't fly in our era now. That's right. Neil's saying at Canadian Cowboy, I hope the front office keeps Comshay and others on 2-ways for 2 years to really develop them. We need to use the 2-way contracts to the fullest. I completely agree, Neil. And that's why I'm really happy Carlson has one of the 2-ways right now, because honestly, he is going to be useful for both teams right away. That kind of size combined with his 3-point shooting, he's going to be very useful. And like I said, last year when we lost Pirtle, we had no depth after that. Yeah, sure. Well, Linux was a decent center to kind of jump in the starting lineup, but we had no backup after that. Well, who we were playing at backup center? We were trying to get Jonte, but Jonte did a Jonte, fucking dumbass. And then, these other guys, Mohamedou's not big enough. Who is our next guy up? Well, Carlson is now. And if we have any problems with the center position with injury, well, hopefully he'll be able to step up and do a couple things. That would be really, really good. Yeah, but the 2-ways are going to be used better, partly because I feel like Coach Rajakovic is going to do better. I think that Coach Drew Jones is going to do better. And Masai and Bobby and Luke Wynn have figured out some of the mistakes they've made with how they manage between the two teams, and they're going to do a much better job with it this year. I am predicting this right now. Yeah, that 2 years ago was horrible mismanagement between 905 and the Raptors. Last year, a little bit better, but could be better. And we're going to see better this year for sure. Smart Towel RG400, welcome. We talk Raptors every morning at 9:30 live. You get your comment in here if you subscribe, and well, you get it read. Let's see what you're saying today. I think I remember you from before. DeMar is the all-time choker. Clutch if there's nothing on the line. If it's a playoff game or an important regular season game for placement, he crumbles. Wow, these are tough allegations. In some ways, I would have stood up against people hating on DeMar, but I'm not anymore. And in some ways, well, the history of what Smooth and Smart Towel are saying is there for us. And we know because we were there. We saw it. Yep. Let's see. Dappin, everybody, NBA quick takes. I love it. Mobester's saying, I can't believe the Bulls gave up Caruso for a bag of peanuts and Josh Giddey. Who did they get back from DeRozan's trade in Sacramento? They got Chris Duarte and some second-round picks. That's who the Bulls got in this deal. I don't agree with your assessment of the Caruso-Giddey trade. I think that Caruso's great for right now, but Giddey has the more long-term potential, and he's the better player, honestly. So I don't think that was a bad trade for the Bulls. I feel like the Thunder need more veterans, and that's why they went and got Caruso. But Giddey's going to be helpful to the Bulls. In some ways, without Ball there, they need Giddey. Giddey's very useful for them. So I don't agree. I think that everybody's saying that Caruso for a bag of peanuts and Josh Giddey, that's not the right description. Let's just put it that way, Milbester. Michael's saying DeRozan, Fox, and Sabonis should be named the mid-3. I mean, there's a lot of truth to this. I mean, seriously, that team is not that exciting. In some ways, they traded Harrison Barnes, and they're still not exciting. That's kind of crazy. It's just how it is, man. That's pretty funny. Michael, I'm going to give you a dunk, partly for being funny and also for showing up and being here regularly again. I like it. Michael, you are at the Scotty Barnes, number 4, my guy. You got the yes, sir, Scotty. There you go. Mike is here. Good to see Logical Raptors Fanatic. Project Truth always. Y'all, Mike is one of the other great YouTube channels that covers the Raptors. He's been inactive recently, but he has a lot of good stuff in his archive. So give him a follow. The only available spot for Kamshay is a two-way. We have to cut a regular contract guy to even get to 15. This year's camp won't be like other years. Our roster is full, and we still have to waive someone. Ooh, so it's a different kind of thing. The spot is not the carrot in front of you to take the two-way contract. Is one of y'all's leaving, and you need to play to survive. Okay, Mike, thanks for clarifying this. So, okay, from what Mike is saying, it sounds like Ulrich will probably be the third two-way just to make it all fit, and that we are still going to have to cut a guaranteed contract at some point somewhere in there. People showing up need to do well, and this means Javon Freeman Liberty ain't nowhere near the Raptors. Neither is Marquise Noel. No, they ain't. No, they ain't. Wow. Thank you, Mike, for coming in and clarifying things for me. Once again, I don't cover everything exactly right, but Mike will come in and cover the holes for me sometimes. 60 dunks for a logical Raptors fanatic. Neil's saying, I watched California Classics yesterday, and Kelly Ware looked good for Miami, even though they lost horribly. Yeah, he's a specimen. We'll have to see how he does over the years. In some ways, I'm not going to have any regrets about how we did our draft. In some ways, I'm really ecstatic we got Jacoby Walter at 19. Kelly Ware was not available at that point. Kelly Ware was already off the board by the Miami Heat a couple of picks before. So it is what it is. We'll have to see how he does. We'll see if those allegations about his passion for basketball come true. We'll have to see if he's an Aiton. Yeah, we'll have to see. Carlos saying, yeah, let's manifest the young Raps entering top 6 in the East. Yeah, why not? Why not us? Let's Stuart Smalley this. As I butchered the impression the other day, we're good enough. We're strong enough. And gosh darn, we're going to make it. Yeah, I want to see a playoff Raptor team this year. I want to see it. I want to manifest it also. Smooth saying, DeMar can't handle pressure, man. Kyle was the true engine of those Raptors teams. Yeah. Man, you guys are slagging on him. I would never have allowed this last Sunday, but I will now. That's sad, man. That is sad right now. Cowboys saying, alley-oop logical. Number 22 ceiling is too high to reach for the sky. Ulrich is the straight Messiah pick, his best present ever. Man, Cowboy, calm down. This guy is Ulrich Kamshay. He's obviously switched from Kolokos from one Cameroonian to another. It's like he was number one Koloko fan. And Bradley, last year when Koloko was ambiguous about what was going on with his medical, Bradley kept asking me every day, what's going on with Koloko? What's going on with Koloko? Well, now he's got Kamshay. Thank God he's got a replacement Cameroonian to just go crazy and spam the comments with Ulrich Kamshay, number 22, number 22. It's awesome. I love your enthusiasm. It's very, very cool, Cowboy. I love it. That's a real Raptor freak feel. G saying, I just saw a clip and it looks like Kelly beat SGA in a 3-point contest. Kelly is locked in. Yeah. All right. Let's go look at the Instagram stories since G brought this up. I got Kelly first thing up, shooting threes actually for Team Canada. You know, I have an opinion about the new Canada jerseys with the black in it. I don't like how much black is being used in either the Raptors or the Canada jerseys. I don't think black should be a color for Team Canada. I really, really don't. I think we should have the very pleasant, positive, awesome colors of red and white. And I don't like the incorporation of black for either the Raptors or the Team Canada. In some ways, on the down low, the apparel makers are trying to shade us and make us the bad guys by putting more black on us. When the Raptors wear their black and reds, I often think we're wearing our Darth Vader uniforms and that we're supposed to be looked at as the bad guys in the black cowboy hat. I don't like it. And in some ways, the black creeping into the jerseys for Team Canada, I don't like that. Our colors of our flag are red and white. Let's use those colors. And whoever designed the jerseys for Olympics, fuck you. Because I don't like the black. Get it the fuck out. We wear red and white is what I'm saying. Black is not a good color in that way. And these guys can wear it with accent and whatever. I don't like it. Change it. In some ways, the Team Canada jerseys look too much like Raptor jerseys. And if the Raptors are going to have black in their colors, that's fine. But Team Canada should not have black in their colors. I'm going to say that right now. There's Olynyk in the 3-point contest just draining them. Yeah, awesome. That was at the event with Nat Bhatia yesterday where Kelly Olynyk beat SGA in the 3-point shootout. Slim Duck, I'm telling you, these clips of him working out in the Raptors shirt and the yellow shorts, he looks really crazy because you know what Chris Boucher is doing? He's driving around people and going to the basket and beating them with moves like driving, putting the ball on the floor and going around them. That's not normal Chris Boucher kind of offensive stuff. So who knows? Maybe he worked on certain skills to try and fit with Darko's wishes even more this year. So hopefully Chris will be passing more and maybe his skills are going to be more diversified so that he can stick around and stay on the Raptors for good. because he's got Raptors shirts on every picture he's showing right there. Yeah, it's everyone. Charles Oakley is out in the kitchen, and he's always a great day for a great cause. He's trying to feed everyone. That's the thing. Charles Oakley loves to cook chicken and great food. He's cooking for the city. Oak is out for hunger. So I appreciate our Raptors and Knicks alumni, Milbester, making the big mac and cheese and trying to feed people that are needy and that need something to eat. So Charles Oakley, he ain't a billionaire, but he's out there doing something right to help the people that need the help out there. So you go, Charles Oakley. We love you. We're proud of you, my guy. We are very proud of Charles Oakley in Raptors Nation also. Jacoby Walter has got putting on blast Pettijohn, a football player who just signed. And let's see, is there anything else in the chat? I don't think there is. That is pretty much it for the Instagram stories. Yeah, Nab Bhatia's event. Very cool. And Kelly Olynyk winning the three-point contest. Very cool. Cool Cat saying, I think Bronny's mom will help him survive the media circus. That's her first child. She will be Mama Bear to help manage the LeBron landscape. Well, Savannah, yeah, she's probably going to be very, 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 very protective of him. This is a serious situation. You know, in some ways, when RJ Barrett got traded to the Raptors this season from the Knicks, Rowan Barrett Sr., before this happened, wanted to make sure everything would be okay and safe for RJ coming back here. That's a parent looking out for his kid. In some ways, you know, RJ coming to the Raptors is different, playing for your hometown and the different challenges that it can have. And it was very important to Rowan as his parent that he is going into a good situation. So they really talked about this very in depth. I'm sure the James family has done the same kind of stuff with Bronny. But, you know, who knows? In some ways, look, don't make this thing bigger than you guys can handle, ESPN and NBA. Because in some ways, the collateral damage could be a young man named Bronny James. So, yeah, this is something that they may not understand. It may be that Adam Silver is looking at that, and it may be that LeBron's just thinking with his ego and like, I want this legacy of my son. But they may not actually be thinking about the real-world implications of how it affects Bronny's mental health and his future and how he feels about himself going forward. That's something that they may not be thinking clearly enough about because they're maybe thinking about this and exploiting him to get more views on NBA stuff instead of the young man who's in the middle of it who may have issues in the future. I'm just saying. But hopefully Savannah James will be looking out for him. I'm sure she will be. Smart Towel saying it's weird. Most athletes' sons that are named junior don't make it. If a great athlete has a son that makes it, usually isn't the junior. You know, this is a really astute comment by Smart Towel. I guess the name, it fits. Yeah, I've noticed this too. I mean, sometimes I guess it's just because the name weighs so much. You know, this happens in wrestling too, which is crazy, Smart Towel. You know, if you have the namesake of your father, there's a lot more you have to build up to. And in some ways, they gauge you against him. That's why Bryce James may have an easier time in every kind of way than Bronny will. It's true. It's true. It's very, very true. In some ways, we could look at the Harper family. Ron Harper Jr. having a harder time. In some ways, Dylan's more talented, but he'll have an easier route because in some ways, people don't automatically know Ron Harper Jr. is Ron Harper Sr.'s son. They know that. Dylan Harper, they don't know. And they don't, some people may not know. Oh, you're Ron Harper's son? Oh, okay. He has his own name. That's part of it right there. When you have your own name, you make your own name. And if you have your father's name and they've made something already ahead of you, you're fucked. You're fucked. There's no way you can add up to that. Seriously, Angela Mosca Jr. There's no way Bobby Duncan Jr. There's no way certain wrestlers, very rare. Dory Funk Jr. did better than Dory Funk Sr., sure. But there's a lot of juniors that come into wrestling that just ain't got it. And sometimes they ain't even got the name and they ain't got it, like David Flair. Yeah. You can talk about this in sports all over the place. I think that Smart Towel is exactly right. You know what? I'm going to give Smart Towel a dunk for a very astute observation that I would say is probably just right on point. So if you want a son and you're an NBA player and you want them to do well, don't name them after yourself. Seriously, don't do that. Don't put that junior on the end of them. Give them their own name so they have a better chance to succeed in some ways. Yeah. Neil's saying, Fox to the Kings. I'm not resigning until I see what changes you're making. Kings to the Fox. Here's DeRozan. Shut the F up and sign on the line. Well, let's see if Fox is going to do that now. Is this what he wanted? We'll have to see. James is saying, if DeMar played in the West instead of the Raps, I really doubt he could even be an all-star. Wow. Holy crap. I mean, this was true when he was on the Spurs. He got nowhere near the all-star team when he was on the Spurs. It was just too crowded over there. In some ways, I was saying at that time, DeMar's getting snubbed from the all-star team, but partly it was because he was on the Spurs and they had such a bad record. But also at the same time, the West is loaded with people. And I think you're exactly right. In some ways, you could look at the team he's on. And those guys only got one All-Star last year, and that was Sabonis. And a lot of people, they may be like, well, De'Aaron and Sabonis are All-Stars before DeMar on his own team. So, yeah, he's not going to get an All-Star ever again if he's on the Kings for the rest of his career. It's just the damn truth. Infamous saying, salute, freaks. With the Lakers missing out on DeMar, Masai can negotiate from a place of strength. With Bruce or Gary, teams are going to start to get desperate. Well, Bruce Brown showing that he's on the Gardner driving into Toronto because you can see the CN Tower. Well, maybe we're going to find out something about Bruce Brown today since he seems to be in Toronto. We'll have to see what's going on. Yeah, Bruce and Gary, still stuff we got to figure out. It's coming soon. Mo saying NBA salary is wild. Seriously, W stream, W vibes. Keep at it always, Lex. Good times approaching. And we're here for Raptors for life. Strong forever. There you go, Mo. Thanks for the cutoff. I appreciate it. Y'all respect that cutoff, please. Yeah. Andrew's here. He's saying that DeMar is so one-dimensional offensively. See, that's the crazy thing. He's so good, and that's the good side of what he's clutch. But you're right. He is a one-dimensional player. In some ways, he had to add a three-pointer for a little while just to kind of show more dimension. But in some ways, that's not really what it is. He's a mid-range merchant. And in some ways, he's not even like that good at attacking the basket and finishing with contact. He is, but he isn't. Oh, it's tough. I hate slagging on him, but we'll allow it because we're at this point with him at this point. It sucks. It should have never gotten this point, DeMar. It really shouldn't. Good to see you, Andrew, by the way. Infamous saying, DeMar doesn't need to clarify anything. Y'all way too sensitive. He's good with me. Y'all a bunch of Stuart Smalls. I'm good enough. Gosh, I know I'm being Stuart Smalley. Exactly. I am that kind of guy. Yeah, because I have to believe in good mental health and, talking myself up with good self-talk. The Raptors, we're good enough. We're strong enough. We can win another championship. Gosh darn it. Even if the NBA doesn't think so. Even if the press doesn't think so. Even if Hockey Canada doesn't think so. Even if a lot of people out there don't think so. Well, we have to have the perception that we can. And that's the way it is. Maybe he doesn't have to clarify anything. I don't know, Infamous. I feel like there's a lot of Raptors fans that are really confused about DeMar DeRozan right now. And it would do himself some justice. Maybe some damage control. If he clarified things a little bit, if you feel like he doesn't have to say anything and he doesn't feel like it, well, we'll just let things continue the way they are and we'll see where we get to. How about that? Smart saying, nah, LeBron was never going to take a pay cut for anyone. Well, actually, they said this morning that the money that he took on this contract, this 2-year, $50 million contract, actually still allows the Lakers some leeway to sign some people. So in some ways, he said he was going to take $20 million less to allow Clay on the team, but Clay rejected it. That's very interesting to me. Very, very interesting. So he rejected the Lakers, and Michael Thompson was pissed as a Laker Showtime champion. Very, very pissed, his father. David saying, who fucking cares if DeMar thinks we deserved him or not? The whole rap is horseshit. Whole rap thing. Nah, I won't diss a whole genre. There's very much good quality in the genre in different places, but there is a lot of crap in it too. It's not even his lyric. It's just that it's Kendrick that says that, and DeMar's in the picture. I don't know if DeMar thinks that we didn't deserve him or not. That's why I want him to clarify. I know Kendrick says that, but that's Kendrick's words. That's Kendrick's voice that said that. DeMar just happened to be sitting there. Maybe that endorses it because he's sitting there making his mean mug about it. I don't know. In some ways, it's stupid. That's why I'm confused. That's why I want him to clarify. In some ways, does he feel like that Toronto didn't deserve him, that we should never drafted him, that everything was fucked up and stupid? He didn't mean anything he said on Open Gym, that Toronto is like the place where he started his family. He became a man. He became a professional. He became an NBA player. Does none of that matter at this point, DeRozan? Because that's the thing that you're saying right now. That's the way it feels right here. Mike saying DeRozan doesn't fit with Braun. Same with Westbrook and Braun. DeRozan would have fit the Clippers better, but I don't know about the Kings. I don't pay enough attention to their team to know its dynamics. Yeah, I could do that. I could see what you're saying there. I don't know. I feel like at Drew League they have fun. Like LeBron and DeRozan on the court. It seems like they have fun on the Drew League court. But you might be right, Mike, that his game just doesn't. His game's very awkward. In some ways, it's a dinosaur in the league. That was the weird thing about the Raptors at that time. In some ways, we were wondering about whether Valanciunas and DeRozan were long for this league because they were throwbacks. In some ways, DeRozan belongs in like the 90s and not in current era. And Valanciunas was like this big lumbering center. We're like, man, this guy, is he going to even fit? He's still in the league. It's amazing Jonas is still in the league. It's amazing. Yeah. Nine says, are you live on another platform as well? No, I only do YouTube. I used to do Instagram lives like during the Tampa season. My platform was on Instagram, but no, this is my home right here. YouTube is my spot. Now, if I have to, I'll do Twitch at some point, but that's my backup. But I'm only live on here so far. Nins, welcome. 9:30 every morning talking Raptors. Tomorrow we'll have a Monday moment, and I think it's going to be all about this contract signing tomorrow morning that we're going to be talking about. Andrew saying, how can you be a star that can't make threes or play defense? I know. I don't know how he did that. Maybe that's why he should thank Toronto, because we made him into something bigger than he probably would have been other places. He might have been a no-name other places. In some ways, because you were in Canada and you were a focal point and we really built you up with our fandom. I don't understand this. Why would you poop on that like you are right now? It's crazy. I don't understand this. Smart saying, not Nins. I think he's just behind on comments. That's all. Not 100% sure, though. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I come to the comments as they come. I don't read them live, and I read every single one of them. So you guys were commenting just before 11 at 10:53. Yeah, I'm just catching up, and I come through. I'm live right now, and it's just I do every comment in the order, and I read all of them as long as they're good for the chat. Cowboy saying, yeah, Nins, welcome. Everybody slam dunk that like button. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a great place for Raptor fans that are positive and think good things for the team. They're not wanting to neg them. They're not wanting to like say, oh, I love the Raptors, but fuck them. They're horrible. No, we believe in this team getting better and better over time, and we are going for Larry O'Brien's. We talk positive, good things into existence instead of like just being like, other Raptors, other nations in Toronto, like the Jays Nation and the Leafs Nation are jaded and cynical. And in some ways, we don't want that energy in the Raptors Nation because honestly, we won a championship in the last 5 years. We have a great front office, unlike the Blue Jays. And we have a lot of good things going on. And Toronto sports fan general can be jaded about things with the Leafs and the Blue Jays, but we don't want that energy in here. And that's part of the reason why I made this channel is because I wanted to separate Raptors Nation a bit from jaded Toronto sports fan nation. So if you're a positive Raptors fan, you want to root for this team in a positive way, this is your channel right here. Because I'll read your comments and we'll talk about good stuff. Now, if people come in here and they start saying this or this and this, I may shoot them down. I may shoot them down real quick. Yeah. Yeah. Mike is saying Mobo has a real contract already. He's on the team. Okay, good. That's good stipulation. So Mobo's not in the running for a two-way. He has a real contract. Good stuff. Blackhawk saying Mobo can't get a two-way because he's signed for 3 years. Perfect. That's awesome. That's what I want to hear. Smart Towel saying, I wrote it and I was confused what team was where. Okay. I'm not sure what that was. Yeah. Cool Cat saying, I feel bad for Gary. He got caught in the new NBA transition. It's costing him money. Hindsight. I don't know if he could have done anything differently to do this. You know what he could have done differently? He could have been consistently really good last year. That's the thing he could have done differently. If he couldn't do it physically because of an injury, well, he couldn't have done anything differently. And that's just sad. In some ways, his loyalty to Toronto has been awesome. And I appreciate him for that. I don't want him to, he's too smart and a professional to crap on us if he leaves. Because he understands that in some ways he loves the city of Toronto no matter what. And in some ways he's going to protect that better than DeMar. Watch. Now, if I'm wrong and Gary Trent Jr. does something crazy, I don't see it because Gary Trent Sr. has always been good with us. Why would his son do that? In some ways, maybe I'm a little scared of more players doing something like what Rudy Gay and DeMar DeRozan have done recently. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Seriously. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Seriously. Oh, my gosh. All right, let's see. In the news, Zach Edey's 4-year contract has been signed with the Grizzlies. That's good. That's good. He will be at Summer League. It'll be interesting to see Big Zach there. Some people are saying he may be Rookie of the Year. The odds have him as second most likely to be Rookie of the Year after Alex Sarr. Very, very interesting who the odds are for they think the Rookie of the Year is. Jacoby is on the odds sheet for Rookie of the Year in Vegas. Yeah, he's like minus 1,000 at odds. Yeah. Smart Towel saying getting a third two-way in the new CBA helps a lot. Yeah, this has been a fantastic development in the last couple of years. The NBA adding the third two-way spot. Yeah, this has been great. And honestly, with all the injuries and the way that the league is, this has been necessary. Partly because of the pandemic and players leaving because of COVID protocol, but also just because it just seems like guys are just getting more injured like often. And that's been a real problem with keeping a good, healthy team. So the extra 2 ways is very, very good. Very good. Neil saying Mo Gay was having a good game on the Hornets yesterday against the Spurs. Yeah, that's what I heard. It's a little birthday present from him because it was his birthday a couple days ago also. Smart Towel saying the mid 3 laugh my ass. Yeah. This guy with DeMar, yeah, he's limited offensively. I'm not disagreeing with y'all. I would like hide all of his deficiencies when I was like, protecting him, but now I don't need to protect him. It sucks. Milbester saying Chris Duarte, when did the Pacers let him go? Since when was he with the Bulls? I'm confused. Now he's in Sacramento. Explain the story. No, Chris Duarte was traded from Indiana to Sacramento. And in the deal with San Antonio, Chicago, and the Sacramento Kings, he is the player that ended up on the Bulls in the whole thing. Harrison Barnes went to San Antonio. DeMar went to Sacramento, and Chris Duarte went from Sacramento to the Bulls. So he's on the Bulls. Yeah, he got traded to the Bulls yesterday. So Chris Duarte is a Bull. There you go. Yeah, it was a 3-way trade. Cool Cat saying, Lex, I agree. Team Canada, any shades of red and white and maple leaf, never black. I agree. Yeah, because there's a dumb movement up here in Canada. In some ways, we don't want to filter or foster to. And there's a guy around the corner from my house right here that has a black Canadian flag out. And it's these people that are anti-Trudeau. Listen, I get it. You can be anti-Trudeau, but you know what? You're disrespecting the Canadian flag when you drape it outside your house in black maple leaf with black bars. What the fuck are you doing? That's very unpatriotic. And in some ways, the people that are doing in the States the same thing, you're fucked up too. Putting this red, white, and blue and black. You think you're more of a patriot because you're fucking MAGA, but you're disrespecting the flag that veterans fought for and kept for freedom, and the idea that you're more freedom. No, you're not. You're disrespectful little shit. So that's part of the reason why I don't want to see black on the jerseys of Team Canada, because on the download, there's a whole movement of putting black on our flags here in North America that is really misguided and kind of fucked. It's the convoy people. So it's like, what? Team Canada, you want to have jerseys that are going towards the convoy people? Fuck that. Whoever decided to put black trim on the Team Canada jerseys, you're an idiot. And you should be fired. So that's what I would say right there. Yeah, Cowboy is saying, cut off later, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Let's go. Raptors, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday. Yeah, if they're trying to make Team Canada look like the bad guys by adding a little black to their hat, well, fuck you, whoever made that decision. Team Canada is a pure red and white, and it should look as beautiful as the Canadian flag does, the maple leaf does. And the black trim is not welcome in my eyes, is what I'm saying. Milbester saying Pacers are crazy. They should have never traded him. He's Dominican too, but damn, Indiana should have kept him. Who are you talking about, Milbester? You're talking about Buddy Hield? Or no, I don't even know who's Dominican. Who you fucking talking about? Duarte is Canadian. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe you are talking about Duarte. He is Dominican Canadian, maybe. Let's see. Mike saying Koloko had a lot of potential, but being healthy is key to a performance-based business. We got another guy to cook in the lab now. Yeah, exactly right, Mike. And I like that statement. I'm going to give you a dunk. You're right. And Comshay is going to be interesting. Hopefully you can go way far above and beyond Koloko's potential, even if he's a smaller player than Koloko. Yeah. Cowboys wanted to give him a 3-pointer also. All right, I'll give him both. So, Mike, you are now going to be at 64. You're 64 dunks. All right, let's see. Cowboys saying Chef Darko will make this young kid special. Later, freaks. All right. Infamous saying, Lex, I'm surprised you're letting these sensitivities, sensitive ass dudes go at DeMar like this. Y'all a bunch of turncoats. Sounds like a bunch of females. No offense to females out there. Infamous. Listen, all respect. Listen, I will say this. Listen, it really does matter to me how people respect our franchise. This is one of the things that I stand for. In some ways, if nobody else is going to stand and say, we need people to respect the Toronto Raptors, well, I'll be that fucking guy. And if that's my job, I've been this way since I showed up in Toronto and worked at the Air Canada Center in 1999. I had coworkers that I worked with in the arena and food and beverage that dissed the Raptors left and right. I cussed them out. At work. So I'm just doing what I've always done, Infamous. I stand for the pride and the reputation of our franchise. And DeMar DeRozan's disrespected our franchise. Well, that's just how it goes. I've always said I'm a Raptors fan first, the franchise. I'm a Masai Ujiri fan second. And then maybe I'm a Scotty Barnes fan third. But that's the way the hierarchy goes. And DeMar is in there somewhere. But when he does something the way he does, okay, go ahead and call us little whiny bitches. Fine. But he fucking disrespected us. And I'm defending the honor of our franchise against everybody who disrespects our franchise. That's just what I do. I'm the Raptors freak. And well, you can go ahead and say what you want to say. He turned on us. Well, in some ways, if he's not going to put the fire out, well, I'll continue to turn on him going forward. And that sucks because I never wanted to be like this with him. He's a real one. I've always respected him for being a real one. We did him wrong. I've always said that. I've always saw it from his side. But him being salty 6 years later and acting like a little bitch himself, because that's the truth right there. In some ways, he could have been a grown-up man and just lived his life and gone on. He's done that the last 5 years. All of a sudden, he's a salty little bitch sitting with a me mug in a Kendrick Lamar video. So who's being the whiny little bitch? Because honestly, he's a grown man for 5 years. Now all of a sudden, he's not. And now he's being like this. Look, this is my job to do this. It's my job to defend the honor of the Raptors. And in some ways, I'm really disappointed in one of my favorite Raptors of all time right now. And don't get it twisted. If he comes correct, I can fix all this. But he is not, and it doesn't seem like he will. So it's just what it is. Smooth saying, Milbester, Chris Duarte played for the Kings last year, and he's with the Bulls. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Well, I don't care why Indiana traded him. Milbester, stay on topic. Understand the realm of what we're doing. I don't give a shit why they traded him. I don't know. That was part of the Sabonis deal, wasn't it? Wasn't he traded with Sabonis over there or something? I don't remember. Who cares? It doesn't even fucking matter. He was traded for Buddy Hield. How about that? He's traded for Buddy Hield. Let's see. Blackhawk saying Gary will have to evolve because traditional shooting guard is dying out. Shooting guard has to do more than shoot. Yeah. I mean, it's getting to the point where everybody has to be a two-way. If you don't play defense, you don't need to be playing in this league. Is really how it is at this point. Mike saying Duarte was traded for Halliburton. Yeah, that's right. Okay, Milbester, we don't have to clarify things for you. Smooth saying, wow, that's scary. Be careful out there, Lex. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Be careful where? Oh, out here in the country? Yeah, but there's always going to be dumb rednecks everywhere. I grew up in Tallahassee. You got to remember it. And the gun ratio down there is way higher. So, yeah, I'll be good out here. Trust me. No, there's good people out here, but there are misguided people out here. There's people who'll fall into a Fox News hole and like watch Fox News and they're Canadian. I'm like, why the fuck do you watch Fox News? You live in Canada. You're an idiot. And there are people that fall into this Trump spell up here and think that Trump is this, Trump is that. These are very soft-headed people that are susceptible to charismatic dictators. And some of this shit is happening. A lot of the anti-Trudeau stuff is that people are just falling into like getting all angsty and upset, and they just want to blame Prime Minister for all their problems. In some ways, look, yeah, he's not perfect. He has a lot of faults. Blackface was stupid. He is a corporate puppet, yes. But he's much better than the alternative, I will tell you that. And in some ways, the people that come after Biden and Trudeau want you to think that these guys are so awful because the guys that they are standing for are way worse, and they want them to be dragged down next to them. And that's what people don't realize. A lot of the Trudeau hate is misguided. I get it. He tried to make people get a shot. He tried to, people lost jobs because of this. And I understand the anti-vaxxers, why they are upset at Trudeau. But in some ways, it's ridiculous. In some ways, it is what it is, and politics of this country will be sorted out. But realize that the better of two choices is still the Liberal Party if it's between them and the PC Party. Just so you know, this is still a better choice. Let's see. Mike saying Hield and Halliburton for Sabonis and Duarte was the trade structure. Yes, that's the big deal that happened there. All right, let me do the rundown and get the fuck out of here. The NBA is set to make $76 billion in TV deals, and this is why all these players are getting these extensions. There's a 50-50 split between the owners and the players and the money that are going to be paid to Emmanuel Quickley and Scotty Barnes is a part of all this. The money is crazy at this point. It is crazy. Leo Routens is saying to us today, take time every day to appreciate what you have. That's right. Gratitude and graciousness and feeling really lucky and grateful for what you have is the best way to keep it and to have more abundance come flowing towards you. That is exactly right. I love it. Yeah, we did the FIBA stuff already. I did that already. Let's see. Happy birthday to Messiah. That's it. Oh, if you have a fantasy league team in our WNBA league, definitely set up. There's some really tough competition today. Really, really interesting. I'm beating JP's team pretty good. That's not a competition. Cool Cat's winning over James. Edmonds getting beat really bad by David. Let's see. Fiercey and Kareem are very close. Fiercey's got a 22-point lead going in the last day right now, but Kareem has a chance. And then, oh my gosh, the marquee matchup is a 1-point game right now. Morgan has a 1-point lead over MK, our current champion. That is a battle right there. Holy crap. WNBA fantasy has been fun, just like the league has been in real life also, too. Very, very good stuff. Thanks for watching me today. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm going to get done right on time at 2 o'clock. Tomorrow I'll be back for a Monday Moment and 9:30 a.m. And if you have a comment, you just need to subscribe. You can come in and write in your comments, and we'll talk about what you want to talk about when it comes to Toronto Raptors, WNBA in Toronto, and Team Canada senior men's basketball. We cover it all here, and the Raptors 905. So this is your channel if you are interested in those subjects. We cover everything, including the secret Scotty Barnes Twitch session last night on Lloyd's Twitch channel, where I heard Scotty talking with his buddies like he doesn't think anybody's watching him. Yeah, I heard you, Scott. And Lloyd was like, I only got 3 people in here, so I'm cutting it off. And he did. He cut it off right then. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. Let's go, Raptors. Let's go, Team Canada. Let's beat Team USA on Wednesday. Let's go.